How many presidents have we heard just say
an
executive order here, executive order here, executive order? Like, you know who Jarvis is from Iron Man, son? That's where they're trying to take this AI shit. That's where Siri was supposed to end up. That's where ChatGPT is going to eventually end up. You give everything other than your social to sign up for everything. You give your address to Facebook. Why? Florida is definitely adding to the GDP with oranges. Yeah. Now they all do that. They all. I'm not here to act like Trump is different from, because they all prioritize certain arms, because they come in and they tell you, yo, when I come in, I'm prioritizing this arm. Yep. Mad at an investor, like, because I've been asking myself that. I even asked ChatGPT that. I'll show y'all that shit. Swear to God.
You can do that. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah. What is the best pathway to wealth? Is it investing? I asked ChatGPT.
Are we recording good?
I asked ChatGPT. Oh, for real? Yeah. All right. So I asked ChatGPT. I was like, what? Hold on. I was like, I said throughout history, who has been wealthier? Investors or business owners? And niggas said business owners. But that's what ChatGPT said. And I can see that, but I don't think, because I think throughout time, investing has been limited to a small. You had to start a business in order to get the money to become an investor.
I was about to say most business owners.
So it's skewed in a way that's not
right. Like nowadays, nigga, with everybody investing, nigga. So like,
you can do it off your phone.
I think by 2100, it'll be way more niggas that turn out like Warren Buffett. Like a nigga who just been investing his bread his whole life. Don't know shit about shit, but just investing. Yeah. And now he's one of the richest niggas ever. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's gonna be mad more niggas like that. Then more niggas that's gonna come and be like Elon Musk and start 3 fucking world changing companies.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah. The latter, the former is a lot more likely.
You feel me?
But you never know with AI, bro. Niggas could be starting all kind of shit.
I'm telling niggas, it's like Jarvis.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, son. If you know who Jarvis is from Iron Man, son, that's where they're trying to take this AI shit. That's where Siri was supposed to end up. That's where ChatGPT is going to eventually end up. Like, that's where, because the next phase in this shit is quantum computing. Yeah. The minute we hit quantum, nigga, it's out of here, nigga.
It's time traveling.
Do you think AI actually going to make life for the regular person easier or harder? Especially when it comes to like workforce and all of that.
This is kind of like a double-edged sword. It's gonna make it easier for the niggas that start using it now, and harder for the people that don't utilize it now, or that don't utilize it in the future.
So kind of like when you first getting adapted to new iPhone or a smartphone,
or technology.
I think
But the purpose should be to make it easier for everybody.
I think
maybe. Why maybe?
Because it could be data farming for big people. Corporation.
Big people have every data. They have everything.
They have every data point. Look, that's what they create algorithms, is tendencies.
My nigga, you got to remember, just to sign. Can I say that?
My nigga?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nigga? Oh, yeah, you good.
My fault. But, yo, I ain't gonna front. You got to think about it like this, son. Like, to sign up for everything, my nigga, you give everything other than your social. To sign up for everything. You give your address to Facebook. Why?
I mean, they ask for it.
Sometimes you actually put your actual ID on
nigga,
Facebook.
Yo, by the time you go back and you done downloaded 5 apps that you use every day, a banking app, social media, and your camera, you got a
face ID, your fingerprint.
Come on, nigga, they got everything they need, because the law lets them share it with each other.
Well, listen, that was just more of a perspective from the pessimist view.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Somebody who might not understand.
But what I was saying about it being negative is that you just fall behind in general and don't utilize it. Like people with technology back in the 2000s, and that now can't use an iPhone. That's what I meant. Like it'd be bad for them.
Less people that can't use an iPhone that can use an iPhone. I think like that's what I be thinking shit like that. Be like, who's taking track of that number? Who the fuck is going around and knocking on niggas' doors? Because remember, that's how the census used to work. Yeah, they used to know everybody because they used to knock, and taxes.
Well, I got you. When I work at the VA, a lot of old people can't use Uber and stuff because they can't work a cell phone. They don't understand how a text message comes in and you reply with this number and then this other automated text message come back. They just don't get it. Right. So those same people are going to be the people now who are like, ChatGPT, I heard about it, but hey, I ain't got into it.
By the time AI really take off, a lot of them people are gonna die. Let's be honest.
No, but I'm saying there's people now, young people our age, who are just like not trying to even get into it.
That's just how the internet was.
But they're gonna be they're gonna be the ones that are like the old people now.
In the 2000s, my nigga, you gotta remember like. No, you was a weirdo kinda if you was on the internet.
That's a
like,
fact.
Too early.
That's
like
a fact.
too early. Niggas was looking at you because the whole world was outside.
I'm a
You
Neopets.
feel what I'm saying? So like, if you was on the internet, you was mad. You was looked at kind of like even like TV shows and shit we used to watch. They used to depict the nigga in the internet all day, kind of
Yeah, like the nerdy,
mad
in your
nerdy
basement
and shit.
type
Like
shit.
that nigga, them niggas became Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg and them niggas.
That's a
That's
fact.
true.
You
That's
feel what
true.
I'm saying? So like, it's like if you tap into the AI shit now, you might become Iron Man.
You know what's crazy? That reminds me of them old videos of niggas talking like, bro, buy Bitcoin.
Bro,
Go get some Bitcoin. I'm just like,
yo,
damn,
what's
who
y'all?
the fuck
Y'all got a
are you?
Bitcoin story?
No,
About getting into it?
I don't have a Bitcoin store.
You are my Bitcoin story, sir.
Dead ass? Oh, no, I gotta give you the
Oh,
other
my
hand,
fault. I'm
man.
tripping.
I ain't gonna hold you. You know what's crazy? I got an ill Bitcoin story, son. I was on a train and I was in a train in New York one time, right? This is like 2000.
Like, you on Wall Street.
Yes.
Nah. I'm working at Foot Locker at this time.
But I'm just
He in
saying
the
that
city
y'all more integrated. You can literally be on a subway and meet somebody that work at Wall Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this nigga didn't look like a Wall Street.
Got you.
He got a trench
I'm talking
coat.
about, son, like, I used to work in Harlem.
Yep.
So I'm coming from Harlem. I'm going back to Brooklyn. It's like an hour train ride. Mm-hmm. On a train, mind my business, got my headphones in, regular day. Dude walks in.
What year is it?
2011, right?
Nah, not that early. Like 20, because I graduated 2011.
Okay.
I was out there 2012, came back out here, and then I went back in 2014. So this is like 2014, 15-ish.
So it's still fairly new.
Something around there.
Pretty new.
Yeah, it's still fairly new.
Son come on a train. He a black dude. Shout out to the black man. He come onto the train. He looking crazy though. Like, he looking like somebody I'm not about to talk to. Right?
Yeah.
I got my headphones. I'm not about to talk to nobody.
Yeah.
On a train, holding. You know what I mean? He's like, yo, get my attention.
Yeah.
What's up? He's like, yo, you heard of Bitcoin? And he swear to God on my life, this nigga got a magazine
Yeah.
under his arm with a Bitcoin on it.
Mm.
I swear to God, son, I'm crying, nigga. Under his arm. He's like, you heard of Bitcoin? I'm like, nah. Like, he's like, buy Bitcoin. I'm telling you right now, buy Bitcoin. Next stop, off the train.
Yeah.
Swear to God on my life.
That shit is crazy.
No, we gotta find this
Life,
nigga.
son.
We gotta find
Never,
that man.
obviously, never seen the nigga. I didn't even know the nigga name, nothing.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't buy the Bitcoin.
What if he was the guy that created Bitcoin? That guy that no one's
Shitoki?
ever seen. Yeah.
Shitoshi.
What if that was?
I never bought the Bitcoin.
Correct.
Needless to say, and we're big and regretting it ever since, my nigga.
Sheesh,
Hell yeah.
man.
We can't live in the past, but shit.
That's tough, nigga. That's tough.
That's
Nigga
very
literally
tough.
came on and gave me the keys to be a zillionaire. And I was
Literally,
like,
dog.
And I was like, that's how shit worked. I was like, nah.
So ever since then, did you start kind of like looking for that type of sign if someone told you some random shit? But if someone came to you now in that same situation, they were like, "Yo, you should." Like they look a little crazy, you know what I'm saying?
Now, but like I only got like that because of like that experience in New York. I used to talk to Matt like that. He wasn't the first nigga to just come on the train and start talking to me.
But that's what I mean. Did that experience make you more open to?
Nah,
those type
because
of-
I didn't even think back to that shit for the first time until probably like 2019, 2020. When I like 2020 for real, when I really started getting into investing in shit, I was like, yo, this nigga did tell me about the Bitcoin shit, son.
I remember
But
you
even-
told me that story. I was like,
I'm like,
"Whoa."
yo.
But
And
even
I'm-
if you didn't invest in that moment, he planted a bug in your head.
Maybe.
Yeah, subconsciously, yeah.
Maybe for sure. Shout out to the homie.
Yeah,
Wherever you are,
because
wherever you
now
are
you're
in the
gonna be
world.
looking at. You might not be looking for that exact moment, but you'll be more prepared for whatever to come moving forward.
Yeah,
Because you'll be like, "This not Bitcoin right now, but I got faith in this one."
like XRP when I was telling niggas
Yeah, he said
2
XRP,
years ago,
yes.
3 years ago to jump on. What we in 25? 4 years ago, I was telling you niggas that this shit was going. This shit
He
was
did,
alright.
bro.
This shit was live.
Nah, he was the one telling me at 30
y'all-
cents.
And y'all niggas wasn't fucking with me when it was 30
Shit, over
cents and it
$3
was
now,
bouncing.
bro.
Look at God.
And now shit
Full
is up.
circle.
Bro, when the in November when that shit happened and everything just went through the moon, this is the first dude I thought about. Like, bro, your portfolio had to just.
Yeah, nigga, it looked very nice.
I bet.
Very nice.
I bet.
They
bro.
were
That's
up
what's
to it,
up.
for
That's
sure.
what's up.
I bet.
Nah,
For sure.
hey, listen. Like I said, Gio's the one that got me into finance, the politics. He does real estate too, so he
You
you
into
know.
real estate too?
I used to be a realtor.
Okay.
Yeah, I quit
Yeah.
that shit though. That shit is a job.
It's literally a job.
It's like the worst job though.
Really.
All right, so
Give your experience on it.
I remember when I was in New York, right? I was selling apartments.
Oh shit, he was in New York.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
That's the whole thing, son. I was selling apartments in New York, and I thought I was moving too slow.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, I'm about to move back to Florida and kill these niggas.
Yeah.
Not the same. So it took me mad long to get off the floor in Florida because like it's mad different.
It's not many buyers in Florida than
especially
it is.
at that time. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I
Houses.
moved back into a buyer's market. It was
Yeah.
nasty work. But
Yeah.
when I was in New York, I had a white dude I was showing apartments to, and he was like, Gio, because he liked me. He was cool. He was mad cool. I liked his family. They was all nice. He had kids and shit. And he was like, I've been showing him apartments probably like 2 weeks, and he was like, I did the math for you on like your hourly, because back in New York, how we used to do is like, if you hire a realtor, I used to get a percentage of you used to have to pay me a percentage of your first month's rent to help you find a spot. And then I was
doing apartments.
Because I was doing apartments.
Okay.
So then I would take my percentage and bust it down with my company. You feel me? So he was like, yo, because I told him that I gotta take what you giving me. Because at first he kept busting my balls about like, yo, he paying me all this bread. I'm like, bro, I don't even get a lot of this money, bro. Like
Exactly.
I gotta bust it back down.
Yeah.
He was like, oh really? All right. So one day he comes to me, he goes, yo, I did the math on how much you making. You better off getting a part-time job.
And everyone thinks real estate agents are like,
but a lot of them are like, not a lot of them. Some of them are like, in my company, that same company, there was a dude when we moved from, we had our first office. Where was that shit at? That shit was, I don't remember where it was, but we ended up moving to 86th Street, right? Like a nicer part of downtown in like Manhattan and shit. And this one guy, son, had like a corner glass office. This shit was fly. One dude. And like, yeah, some dudes really make bread, son. Like some dudes are, even when I was working down here, Surgery 21.
Yeah.
There's some agents, my nigga.
They eat.
They eating, bro.
Yeah.
They not playing no games. But that shit is a real business though. Them niggas got like, it's like
Cards,
business. Like more than cards.
Nurturing events, all of that.
Events.
yeah,
And
taking
like,
clients
and
out.
like teams. Like
Yeah.
if you join the company and you too slow, the company might put you on their team.
Yeah.
And now you doing everything you would do for yourself,
But they get a percentage.
PC.
Yep.
Because you using their branding.
Yep.
It's like franchising.
It's
like
they
franchising.
arbitrage, like middleman and
Yeah,
shit.
type shit.
They're getting pieces.
Yeah, that shit nasty. I did my thing, but that shit was too hectic. My last clients were really good though. They put me on to what I really wanted to do, which was real estate investing. Because my man, I was showing this lady Parvana and her husband Hassan, real nice people, showing them around. And Hassan, he was a real estate investor. So my son, he was just telling me like, you feel me, like, you know, we could be working together doing a lot of things, blah blah blah. But I'm seeing how you moving. I mean, I don't want to put too much of his business out there. But he bought the house in South Tampa all cash. So I'm like, but it was an investment, you feel me? Like an investment, they was gonna fix it up. They had plans, you feel me? Like, but he was telling me how he was able to do this. Like, not like he's sitting on 300 bands, but like how he's able to make this happen. And I'm like, very interesting, bro. Mm-hmm. Very, very interesting. Because that's what I originally wanted to do from the jump, or I thought I was getting into being a realtor to do, but you just ended up working, nigga.
Yeah.
That shit is trash.
That's one thing I noticed about like most trade jobs in the beginning. Most people want to get you when you first coming in, so they can put you at the bottom, pay you the bare minimum. Yeah. And then most people realize like, oh, I'm working for you still.
Exactly. Like Uber is the biggest scam to me in the world. Uber, DoorDash, all that shit. Like and shout out to everyone who does that, because I Uber the fuck out of.
I was about to say I do part-time DoorDash around here.
The problem with that is, it's like what I don't like about companies like that.
Though, for sure, though.
When I say a scam, I mean like I don't like how they sell it. I don't like how they market it. They'll be like, you're like an entrepreneur.
Oh, no, see, I wouldn't look at it like that.
Yeah. And it's not, because it's really...
They're providing the platform.
It's a side hustle, though.
But it's just a middleman.
Yeah, you really work for Uber.
But every job is going to make that's how they attract you.
Yeah.
They make it sound like this is some life-changing shit. Even at McDonald's, they have now hiring $17.50.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's not life-changing.
I'm saying like,
you
make it like
Swedish gig the burgers, cooking the fries, and you got to clean the damn toilets.
Exactly.
I ain't going to hold y'all. I got a way different perspective on the McDonald's job thing, but...
What you mean?
This is interesting.
Niggas hate McDonald's, but McDonald's, like you said, to flip burgers, dump fries, clean a bathroom or two, and if you really got the juice, you not the one cleaning the bathroom. There's someone in the job that's gonna clean the bathroom. It's not you, right? Like, so
it's the cashier.
They're the
ones that do it. Seriously, I worked at Wendy's. They're the ones that do it.
Like, it's not you. You get what I'm saying? And like, so for all that light ass work that you got to do, right? Like,
is it light work?
I mean,
have you ever worked at McDonald's?
I'm saying it like this. Even during the heavy, because I'm not trying to front on them. Even during a heavy rush hour, you don't like. All right. So when I say light work, you don't need no experience to work at McDonald's. McDonald's will teach you everything.
So it's not like rocket science.
It's not rocket science. They will teach you everything you need to know to be sufficient here, and they'll pay you. And if you got ambitions enough, they'll send you to college.
Yeah.
If you
can own a franchise.
You could franchise through working here.
Move up to the manager.
You could be the manager, and the managers get.
Aren't there a lot of complicated jobs that will do the same thing? They just.
He's just saying from somebody who doesn't have nothing.
That's what I'm saying.
The barrier of entry. Yeah. Most people that we really, and that's gonna tie into like my main view on politics, right? Okay. The people that need the help the most, the people that are the brokest, the people that are like the less fortunate, they're only in that position because they don't have the opportunities to rise up because it's not set up for them to do so.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I'm saying.
When you get into a situation like a McDonald's, and these niggas will send if you ambitious enough, you want to go to college is your wave.
Like that too.
Publix is like that. They will send you to these places. You could go. And on top of that, you go to your college and you obviously still have a job at McDonald's. So you in college, you making bread, you in college. You feel me? If you smart, you taking advantage of your network because the only reason you go to college is to meet people. Yeah. Feel me? Like you might be sitting in college with the next president.
Yeah. No, what I was finna say is that the same way you said people can bring a no fucking experienced high schooler in there and train them how to flip burgers, drop fries, and ring and stuff on this screen. You can kind of do that with a lot of other things that don't require high level degrees. They just don't. America just isn't built like that where they allow that. For example, you can do that with a lot of trades. You can basically bring someone in, show them how to use this tool, put this together. And these trades get paid a lot of money, but they usually require you that they go to school and all this stuff. But it's kind of a way to gatekeep the people who aren't able to either access schooling or who aren't going to go and do that. So they're going to be like, all right, well, what's the easiest thing else?
Those are two different McDonald's. Those are two different problems, though. People who don't have access, and that's what privilege is. It's people who don't have access, and then there's people who won't go do it.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? That's my whole problem with the immigration thing. Right? Like a lot of the immigrants come and they're not. I've never one time because I've been working. They stole my job. My nigga. I've been working, my nigga. Bro, I've had a job, my nigga, since high school, my nigga, and never once
did a
nigga tell me.
I agree to that too.
That like, yo.
No, personally, I agree.
Yeah. Him over here, the illegal immigrant at that.
I ain't never been in no situation like that either.
You lost out
what about the farmer? A farmer who's been a farmer his whole life in Iowa that's getting undercut by.
The farmer who's a farmer his whole life has more illegal immigrants on his farm than y'all willing to talk about.
That's not for every situation.
That's most situations because
we can't say that.
We can go right to Plant City and it's a lot of them out
because
it's a lot out.
Not for nothing.
My bad. And I mean, like
didn't say that.
Undocumented workers.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
And not the front on nobody. And not the front on nobody, right? But like. It's only because of where they come from. Yeah. In they culture, my nigga, like using everybody farms. That's not like a only they do that over there in Iowa. Like how we live in, we got to think about how this shit works, bro.
That's how we
United States of America, bro. If you really break this shit down, we're 50 different countries, bro.
Literally.
But you can't say that.
Operating under one roof. It's like.
But every farmer in America doesn't use underpaid labor, though. We can't say that. You can't say that like that's a fact.
I can't factually base that. I can't factually base that.
But I'm just saying the reason I said that is those are someone who is affected by what you initially brought up. Just because they didn't take our jobs doesn't mean nobody was affected by.
I'm gonna say this.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say this. The problem with that right there is that the thing, in my opinion, the things that's really affecting the farmers and really cutting they income is not the. Think about how that even sounds. Let's just break that down. I'm underpaid workers. That means I'm as a farmer is already saving money. Yeah. He's underpaid. I'm up. Right?
Yep.
I'm losing to the fact that there's 5 to 6 companies in the entire world
who owns
everything. That owns every piece of farmland and that make all the food. And if I'm just a local chicken farmer and I can't not in no possible way in my right mind think I'm about to compete with Purdue.
Yep.
Purdue supplies the jails, the schools, the supermarkets. They everywhere, bro. They everywhere. How am I going to compete?
So what would
with
help
that?
the independent people outside the corporation? Because if the corporations are having underpaid workers and you're doing the same to keep up with the corporations, what's the only thing you can do that'll level the playing field?
It's not the immigration.
It's
That's
not.
No, but you can multitask though.
Yeah.
No,
that's not the only.
No, I'm saying you can't though, because the minute you start, the minute we start taking away the immigrants, the first people to lose is the motherfuckers who had to go. My only source of
which
people
is the farmers again
was underpaid.
That's assuming every immigrant is doing that job.
I'm just saying the most. I'm not saying that.
No, he's just
I'm saying the most.
Yeah,
but again, we talking about. My point is they're doing jobs that we don't do. We don't farm. No, we don't build houses. Like yes, there's. I got 2 homeboys. I got two
Americans. There's no Americans.
No. Yes, they do.
Of course there is. They do. But he's saying there's not a.
What percentage of the farming workforce and stuff do you think is undocumented immigrants? If you had to put a number on it, to where it's gonna just destroy America.
I'll say 50. I'll say 50-50.
50%.
50%.
Okay.
Because how many farmers? How many of your homeboys work on a farm?
That's what he's saying.
You can't do that.
That's what he's saying.
Okay, hold on.
That's
But I can go to a nigga in Nebraska asking the same shit. He could be like every single one of them.
Let's go around the room. We live in Florida. Let's go around the room.
Yeah,
how many of your homeboys work on a farm?
I have none.
What's talking about Florida? What about in Texas?
Hold on.
You might ask a nigga, he could be like, all my friends
we
do.
export. We are one of the biggest. The farm is one of our number one shit here. Agriculture
in Florida.
Florida oranges, nigga.
Farming.
Did you not hear my
Oranges.
man? Did you not hear my man in Canada?
Oranges are a luxury.
Did you not hear what he told the Canadians?
What he say?
Maybe you choose Canada orange juice over Florida oranges.
Yeah, I heard that.
Maybe you
and
stop going to Florida altogether.
And fuck them avocados, nigga.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, son.
But but I know what you're saying. What I'm saying is this. Because we can't use our personal anecdotal experience to determine that something is true or not. Because we're a huge country, like you said, it's a melting pot. There's people like that aren't have the opposite life of us in another state.
We're in one of the places that do the thing.
We're not. Florida's not one of the biggest farmlands in the country, bro. You get the whole Midwest.
We're one of the biggest.
What about Nebraska? What about Iowa? What about all these Midwest, Texas?
I didn't say we're the one of.
Look this up,
nigga. Texas, Florida. All the Midwestern places that do the potatoes and the wheat and peaches and all this and that. Like, nigga, how do you think the GDP shit gets added up, nigga? It's orange. Like, Florida is definitely adding to the GDP with oranges.
Yeah.
So it varies in the type of crop and the measure used.
That's why he's saying.
So fruit and crop sales. Oh no, I'm sorry. It says fruit and nut sales. Florida's third in the country.
Yeah.
Third in the country.
That means we're one of the biggest.
The number of farms were 16th. Hold on. Let me finish. Let me read them
That's
out.
still one of the biggest, though.
No, there's 52. That's 52. Listen.
Out of 52 with number 16? That's top 20.
That's not going to be the same as if you go to
more than half.
Instead of number 16. Listen, all right. We're number 16, right? If you go to 1 through 10 instead of 16, and you go and ask the random nigga on the street, they're gonna be like, "Yes, my homeboy's a farmer." Yes, more than you're gonna be in Florida. That's my point. You can't use Florida as If Florida has less farms than this person,
let's go with that. Okay, yes.
Then you know what I'm saying?
Yes, right.
That's the point. Is you can't use us as the
now. Let's go to that place and then start kicking the immigrants out, and then ask them same niggas how many of my homeboys are undocumented immigrants that work on these farms. I bet you it's a large ass number of those same people. Them same people that they say they know work on a farm, I bet you a lot of them are undocumented.
I'm not denying that. But I'm saying
or their parents are.
I don't think it's gonna crash the economy. Is the point?
I think y'all vastly underestimate how big business works. Big business works like we just said with McDonald's. There's a reason why McDonald's, whose stock hit an all-time high not too long ago, $300. Yeah. Think about how much money they're bringing in. Everybody invested $300 just per share on McDonald's. They bringing in a lot of money. They're paying their workers $17.
And they're global. They're not even just in America.
Globally, nigga. That's just $17, bro. An hour, bro. And you're not working 40 hours a week if you're not the manager.
Right.
So it's like, bro, if you're not making a livable wage, bro, because again, like we was talking about before, there's certain things that you can do to improve the situation for real.
Yep.
But then there's pandering that niggas do so they could act like they doing this, and they only do it to the there's so much more uninformed than informed, and the problem with the AI shit is that it will just continue to. That gap will just continue to get bigger because you won't feel the need to continue to do the research once Jarvis can talk to you.
Yep.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's like that's where the haves and the have-nots will continue to get bigger because it's all an information game, dog.
Right.
Like we've been fighting the same fight since fighting, nigga. Like ain't no different, bro. When Martin Luther King was trying to get niggas integrated, it's because in his mind he knew that the white schools was teaching shit that was excelling them in the white country.
Putting them ahead, right?
You feel me? Like this is a white country, so if you go to a white school, you might get white results. You feel me? Not thinking about the fact that they was gonna change the whole shit up.
Right.
The minute we got in there and started now acting like it was all about money.
Right.
That's why the Department of Education shit is so crazy to me, my nigga. How do you say a department of the government that's been vastly underfunded for a long time, nigga? Go back to as long as
what? The military and the police
compared to the fact that they only get 0.1. It's between 0.1 and 1% of government spending. The Department of Education. That's every public school in the country.
Yeah.
Public school in the country gets 1% of our tax money, and niggas want to now take that out. That's the problem. They got 1% of trillions of dollars. 1% education.
That's a federal thing, right?
Yeah, that's what again. Who's trying to take it out? Your federal mans.
The president.
Federal man.
Your man's DT.
So he's trying to basically leave each state have their own Department of Education, basically.
Now,
No, but that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I've heard.
That's his alternative.
That's what I'm saying.
The alternative, when I get rid of the Department of Education, the states have to deal with.
Yeah.
But the problem you're gonna say is that Florida will ban books if they disagree with certain stuff.
They already did it.
No, but I know
My
that's
niece
what I'm
is in
saying.
school right now. My niece is in high school right now. They not teaching about Black history.
So,
My niece is in high school right now.
Why do different states have different laws in the first place?
Black history.
I'm saying, why do different states have different laws in the first place?
Because
Why do state laws exist?
Because each state, because how America works is each state is a conglomerate. It's like we're a team.
United States.
We're the United States.
Oh, I didn't know that was the name.
Like
Thanks.
I'm saying, but think about, you got to apply it. The United.
So
States
some stuff's
of
federal,
America.
some stuff's state. But my point is, if he's saying y'all are making it seem like he's saying, fuck education, we're gonna take all 1% of the funding away. He's saying, how about you allocate your state's funds and how you feel it should be allocated.
So
based
then
on
let's
your
go
state.
with that. Then now we go into another part of mismanagement of the money, right?
Before you go in, the reason I say that is because I feel like things can be said in a way to make things look worse than it is. Is my point. And people are saying he's trying to abolish the Department of Education. He's trying to make people stupid. People are already stupid. And instead of it looking at being like, oh, we're not trying to have it be a federal thing. We want it to be a state thing and let your state do what they want with the funds. So you might get more than 1% of 52 states.
The problem with that is then now the inequity grows. The inequity varies based on what state you live in. So now if instead of it being under the one blanket that unites us all, right, the federal, you leave it to the statewide, and there's going to be the states are run by governors. Right, we just found out that the governor, Eric Adams of New York, shout out to him, you feel me? He was playing around with the money.
Like they all do.
Doing a little, but he got caught.
Just like Brandon Johnson.
With the emails.
Chicago.
Remember the emails? They called him on it. He's still up there.
Yeah.
2 blue states.
You feel what I'm saying? Again, though, blue, red. So in the red states, they probably just better at hiding their shit. They probably not leaving it on the computer. Like a doof. Why would you leave it on the computer? Why would you go to your secretary and be like, why would you go to your secretary
2
and be
wings
like,
of the same bird.
all right, but all I'm saying is this.
Like you said.
Right. And all I'm saying is now you leave it up to like individuals, like the governor or whoever. I don't know which one is higher, the mayor or the governor. I think it's the governor.
Governor's
right?
the state.
higher.
Yeah, mayor's the city.
Mayor. So the governor now is one man who controls.
So this
and then now if you the government, how do you decide what state gets what money for education?
1% split by 52.
That's what they're doing now. That's literally what they're doing now.
No, they're not. But look, they're making rules that apply in Pennsylvania, also in Florida, when we have two different kinds of.
Let's bring this point to a head. Right?
Go ahead.
Okay.
We have two different kinds.
We put a lot. Let's put a point to the head. Come on, man.
We have two different kinds of what?
I'm just saying we have two different economies, essentially. Each state is its own economy. California is not the same as Florida. It's not the same as Iowa. It's not the same as Montana. It's obvious. You're from New York. It's not the same here as New York. You just said that about real estate.
Hold on, time out. That's what I'm trying to say. United States of America. Yeah. We get why that's a thing.
Certain things should be federal. Absolutely. Like human rights.
We are one country. You get what I'm saying? Right. We're 50 pieces of one puzzle.
Wait, is it 50?
You get what I'm saying?
So it's still 50, but we got territory.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, like, I'm just talking about the states, like
right,
shit that's on the continent. You
50,
feel me?
Yeah.
It's 50. So it's 50 states. We're 50 states are part of this one thing, right? The reason why you make education universal is because if you're in Florida, you don't need a passport to go to California. You're still in America. So as long as you're within the walls of America, the things that Americans learn should be universal. It should be the same. Yes, you can learn the differences between what makes your state unique and versus, again, like we talked about, like in New York, why in New York you could have basements and why in Florida it doesn't have basements, or like why.
That's a whole industry in itself right there.
Exactly.
That's my point.
Exactly. No, again, that's what makes your state unique, because again, we're 50 pieces to one puzzle. So if you look at us as one puzzle and not just 50 pieces, then why would you have the people in Maine where they have a lot of money over there, or Boston where there's one of the richest states by per income? What do you think their education?
So you think it should be a more socialism type of construct?
That's what it's starting to feel
like.
No,
socialism is like a weird way to.
It's pulling the money from the people with the money to use it for
everybody.
everybody.
Should be accoladed with the same amount of money.
Right.
No, I don't believe that. I believe that the federal government, through taxes, they get a lot of money, right?
We know that. And
so
they've been
misusing it.
but I'm saying and through, but the problem is, right? The problem is, yes, they've been misusing it, but it's like now why I don't agree with the whole Trump situation is because you're not coming in to fix any problems. You didn't say you was. The things that you're dismantling aren't necessarily broken like that. You don't need to abolish the Department of Education. You need to give them more money. They need more of the federal income.
He's not taking money though. He's saying the state is going to be
to the state.
Determined.
Again, but it's the same.
How is that the issue?
Semantics.
Because the reason why the federal bottom line had to happen in the first place were because whenever you left it up to states, certain states fell behind too much, and so therefore the federal government had to step in.
And now they're even worse with the federal government.
You got to think about why. You got to think about why certain.
So let me ask you this, because okay, if that's the case, that's a great reason to do it. If you live in Wyoming, what is the chances of you being more of a car builder, farmer?
No, it's very high.
Trade.
Very high. Very hands-on.
You might not get into education as deep if you was living in a New York, a California, Philadelphia.
True, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Because my interest may not lie with school.
My point.
Not about interest. It's about regional geographic, bro.
Nah.
There should be a universal
because certain stuff happens in this state that doesn't happen in this state.
Because again, Warren Buffett is from Omaha, Nebraska.
Yes, he is.
And he's one of the richest people in the world.
Yes, he is.
Because he did something that's universal, which is fine.
Why is he not into trade? Why is he not into trade? Why is he not into trade? Why is he not into trade like you would imagine? He lives in a blue collar state.
Yeah.
Nebraska is a blue collar state. So if we just leave it up to geographics and regions, Warren Buffett's interest probably should have aligned more into blue collar work.
Do you believe humans are normally?
Why is finance in every state?
Because money is used to make business keep going.
So how is the even though that's a disparity in its own, how is the education of money? It's a universal concept. All throughout every state, we're all taught that 4 quarters equal $1. It don't matter what state you go
math
to.
is universal too.
That's not math. That's current. That's United States currency.
Yeah.
You're taught it. Exactly. So again, this is why you need a universal education system within your country. You need to know that when you leave Florida and go to Iowa, that you don't have to exchange money. That 4
Can I
quarters.
ask
Oh,
you this?
prerequisites, just like in college. Yes, everybody takes math, but then once you get to year 3, you start going into your diversified thing for your major.
Can I ask you this? America is a big ass country. Is there any other country that you could look at and be like, we need to be more like them?
No.
And that's the problem. We holding these people to a standard where we already look better than most countries.
So why now fuck it up?
What did he fuck up? That was
What did-
already
okay.
haven't been fucked up for years.
So when so I'm,
He
I'm
feel like he's trying something different.
he started implementing things that hasn't been good for years.
okay. So what I'm saying is if
Education was a big major thing, you say we got our governors, right?
Right.
And
Because
checks and
we- 'cause
balances.
we live- we
You're
live
supposed
in-
to hold your governors to a certain standard to be like, hey, you need to bring these issues to the president.
and so instead of doing that, because governors change so often, just like
Yeah.
presidents
Well,
change so
not as
often,
much as presidents.
I'm just saying, like they rotate. So
Yeah.
in a child's school career, you might go through 2 governors and a president. You know what I'm saying? Before you
Yeah.
get from K to 12. You know what I'm saying? You might go through 2 presidents in a K through 12
Yeah.
situation. You feel what I mean? So instead of leaving it state to state where each individual state. So imagine like if we never. I'm gonna try to correlate it like this. The Department of Education is the unifying thing.
Yeah.
Oh, my fault.
You're good.
The Department of Education is the unifying thing. The Department of Education keeps, like he said, it keeps Florida, Louisiana on pace, like kids in those states at the same pace
Yeah.
as California, New York, these high GDP states, right? So if you now go back in time, we lived in a time where the Department of Education didn't exist.
Yeah.
1967.
And the reason why it became a thing was because they noticed then the disparities. There was a time where we left it up to the states and we did this, we ran this same play and it didn't
But
work.
what was also going on around that time?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't
Well,
work.
Jim Crow doesn't matter?
No, because
Yes, because
Jim
like
Crow-
you just said with the white and the black schools. What did you just say?
because
Boom. That's the
because
glue.
even the white schools were in the same. You're in the same problem. It's not a. It's your
In
state.
2025, you don't think that with the internet,
No.
everybody can't kind of...
Because in
I can
2025,
see in 1969, you got fucking hillbillies in the South teaching people a lot of different
having
stuff
access
than
to a
not having
library.
access.
Okay, yeah.
So now in 2025, what do we still need that whole
because-
central person to kind
because
of govern all of us for?
they're
As far
not-
as education.
they're not governing us. The
stealing our money.
Department of Education disperses the money. So they give your states the money that it needs to keep them on pace with everyone else. Now they have to do this job with 1% of the federal budget. We're giving these people trillions of dollars every year. You and me getting back $1,000. Calling it cool. Shit.
Yeah.
Try to do something with this little tax money.
That's a fact.
Let me try to do something with little tax money. But while they got trillions, they giving us back pennies.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And then they take the parts of the government that's supposed to lead us into a brighter future. There's certain things like there's a book Ray Dalio has. It's the Rise and Fall of Nations, right? And like I'm telling you have to read. We're in the decline. We're in the stage of a declining nation because the minute a nation does not prioritize education, there is no hope for the future, bro. You can't. Trump is gonna die one day. His kids are gonna die one day. His grandkids are in school right now, and depending on because he has money. Or if we go back to the other example, because he was in New York, his kids would be learning something different than my daughter is currently
But
learning.
didn't Trump give money to HBCUs in his last administration?
Everybody
And
gives
hold on,
money
also
to
too,
HBCUs.
Why didn't
Everybody
Joe Biden
gives
and
money.
Joe Biden and Kamala prioritize this issue with 1%
That's
Department of
why
Education
I get
for the
kind
last
of
4 years?
Caught
Okay.
up on the.
And we can't say it's a pandemic because they can do it
No.
clearly after
They
2021.
didn't prioritize it. No, that's why again,
What
I'm
did
not
they
a Democrat.
Other than funding
I'm not
wars.
a Democrat, but again, like so funding wars through like soft power exists, bro. Like we're the only country. Like we got to give ourselves a lot of grace in a lot of ways. Like we're the only country doing this. There's no playbook you can look to. Rome. You going back in time to nations like Rome and shit.
That's why I don't like the non-transparency from one side.
You can't. Okay.
Because they know we're the only ones doing this.
So,
there's no history to be like.
It was the same. The side that you saying now is super transparent. They were once the non-transparent side, like we said outside. Bush just they did what they did. They knew what they were going to get. They just lied.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Like it used to be the other side being non-transparent, and they were winning. So niggas was like, all right, let's adopt that playbook. Now they look, and then they started winning.
This is all before social media and the internet, ain't it?
Exactly. And then they started winning, right? And then now a new playbook came out. They still on the old playbook.
Yeah.
They got to adapt to what everybody been saying about the Democrats. Y'all need to get with it. Y'all are too behind. Y'all lost because y'all behind. Had y'all gave Kamala a whole shot, I think she would have won, bro.
Yeah, she had more
It's
time.
been tight though.
I don't think it's never not gonna be tight.
Yeah.
I think the day we see a president lose by a landslide, Trump lost by a landslide. Didn't either Biden? Yeah, because niggas be. That's what I be saying. Like we forgot we was mad at this nigga. We was all like.
It's not that. It's that Biden
mad.
just did so fucking bad that it was like, oh my god.
I don't think
it was this bad.
I'd be like like my man was. It's one thing if he wasn't the president before.
Yeah.
Like if this was Trump's first time, I would feel niggas.
I feel like he wouldn't have a chance if it was his first time.
But,
I don't think so.
But
yeah,
versus Kamala, probably not. But
versus anybody.
But nah, probably not. I think because you can't say that because
versus
he
a politician
won.
at least.
No, you can't say that because he beat
Hillary
Clinton
yeah.
in his
Nigga
first round.
Hillary Duff.
And I ain't gonna lie, he beat her
That's why I
too.
caught myself. I was like, what's
He beat her too. She probably voted for Hillary. Shit.
Hey, can't nobody beat Lisa McGuire. Y'all got her fucked up. Hell no.
But I ain't gonna front son like Hillary Clinton in the last since to me Hillary Clinton was the best. She was probably better suited to be president than Obama. Like she's been in politics.
Really?
She's been in politics for so long.
Yeah.
She's been in very important shit. Like
Investigate the Clinton Foundation.
No,
but the thing is, when you think about politics, even when you've been in politics for a long time, I also get worried about those people.
Exactly.
Because even with Joe Biden, people was happy for him to be president, but he implemented a lot of laws that put black people down around.
When you senator. All right, so let's talk about that, right?
Yeah.
We all governors here. We all got our own states.
Yep.
We made them up. We our own states, right? But we united though. We the same as like America, right?
Yep.
We governors. Now in my state, niggas just keep getting shot, bro. And I don't know what to do, bro.
Yeah.
Like niggas is getting shot. The government, Nick is the government. He keep giving us bread, so he give us each a certain amount of bread.
Yep.
Now y'all using a lot more of y'all money on police force.
Yep.
I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
But my niggas is getting shot. But I'm spending more of that money on education. So I got a lot of smart niggas getting shot by the gangsters, right? And like it's just a crazy situation. You feel me? You gotta have the government you gotta have Nick be able to step in and say, all right, we gotta do something because they dying a lot over there. Like in them states, they cool. But in his state, they just happen to be dying a lot. So what we gonna do? We gonna implement a law. We gonna say that. Hold on, because let's just talk about it. The law itself.
I'm about to.
I know what you got.
I got you. The law itself, right? The law itself. It says, if you already a criminal, then when you get popped again, you the worst nigga in the world. You what they called us? They called us
Deplorables?
Nah, we was goddamn super predators.
Yeah. That was Hillary Clinton.
Super predator. He was a super predator.
That's your girl.
Right?
That's your girl.
Nah, that's the homie. Nah. That was Big Bill.
Oh, I thought Hillary said that.
Nah, that was Big Bill.
Both
But
of them
again though, right? Yes, they said that, but the law itself isn't the danger, right? It's who.
I'm about to smoke your boots.
I got you. I'm gonna leave it open. The law itself ain't the danger, right?
Okay.
We was living in a time where, again, right? Like you got to think about Jim Crow. We was fighting for civil rights in 1960 something. In 1993, when these laws are getting established, we're 30 years removed from being discriminated against at the highest level of freedom.
Yep.
Like y'all could still walk around and shit. You just can't walk in here.
Yep.
Y'all could drink water just on that fountain, nigga. And if we catch y'all over here, we gonna rip y'all skin off and burn y'all to the that was 30 years ago where that was perfectly okay. You get what I'm saying? So like the mentality of these people, yeah, we know who they talking about, but the law itself, if the system itself wasn't already fucked up, it wouldn't vastly have fucked us. It wouldn't vastly.
But with your
have fucked
example,
us.
you got to also look at why these smart niggas getting shot.
No. That's what I was
Nah,
about to say.
the
And go
smart
back
niggas-
to his point.
No, the smart niggas is getting shot because I'm prioritizing me. Like I said, we did
Education over security.
over security, and because there's no like I didn't say he was a department. He's just giving us money.
But when do smart people ever shoot other smart people in a real life?
When they poor, when they're fucking poor. No, when they're poor.
That's what I'm saying.
When they're poor,
Time out.
smart people
Time
shoot
out.
smart
Time
people because they don't have.
Or they
You're
come
getting a lot
together
off.
and build,
You're getting a lot
though.
off right now.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you
go
getting a
ahead,
lot
go
off.
You're
ahead.
getting a lot
Go
off.
ahead.
Imagine me talking to this nigga.
That's what I'm
My
trying
bad.
to say.
Yeah, go
You're
ahead.
getting a lot off right
Go
now.
ahead. Go ahead.
Check me out.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
The same person you caping for saying that he had to implement these laws to stop people from getting shot.
Right.
Why wasn't his first motion to be like, hey, we have a lot of impoverished neighborhoods. We should find some ways to get these kids to get better education, better sources of funds so that they're not in these situations, instead of being like, hey, y'all keep shooting people, even though we're going to leave y'all in y'all situation. We just going to keep putting y'all in jail. And then if you do it 3 times, you're going to just stay in jail for life. And that becomes free slavery for that jail system because now they can't get back out. They not rehabilitating them to be able to get back into society. They just saying, hey, be you, but if you keep doing this, we just going to put you in jail.
So it goes.
Just don't get caught.
It goes a lot into why dismantling the Department of Education is a bad idea in the first place, right? Because when you leave
But
it up,
you talking about
Hold
now.
on, hold on.
They
Hold
should have
on.
been dealing with this way before it even got to this point.
I'm just
if
saying.
they would
I'm
have
saying
if they would have been
these are-
implementing this
some of these things
years
are the-
before,
some of these things were the fix that they thought were gonna. So like I was saying, like
they knew
if-
there wasn't no fucking fix. They
hold
did
on,
that shit
I'm
on
saying that, like,
purpose.
of course they knew it was gonna
Yeah.
affect who it was gonna affect.
Yeah.
I'm not sparing them from that.
Gotcha.
I'm not sparing them from that. I know that the game
Yeah.
is rigged. Like they racist. Don't get me wrong. They trust me. If you know, bro, I'm trying to respect my girl's wishes right now.
I'm saying,
I'm trying to respect my girl's
feel
wishes.
you, but I'm just saying,
like,
I said-
I'm not
I'm saying-
standing with that shit.
I'm
dog.
saying,
That's-
like they know. Again, like I said, 30
I'm
years
edit that Soulja Boy
before,
clip in.
30 years before the 90s, where these laws were getting, they were ripping our skin off.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I know these people don't like us, bro. They not doing that. The problem is the department. You got to look at certain things like a beacon of hope, right?
Okay.
Because all you can do, it's like the Hunger Games. You know why the Hunger Games is one of my favorite movies, bro? No funny shit. At the end of the Hunger Games, or toward the end or whatever, when Shorty was doing all that super amazing shit, and the old white dude was sitting back, he was watching, he was tight, and one of his workers was like, "Why are you so obsessed with this girl?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Because she resembles hope.
Yep.
And if you snuff hope out, then we live in the Hunger Games.
Yep.
You could put niggas in districts, and
Yep.
that is a real life premise.
Yeah, it is.
That's a real life
That's a
premise.
fact.
When, like you said, when do smart people shoot smart people? When they don't have when this degree
They don't have no resources.
ain't getting me shit.
But that false sense of hope can be used to manipulate people as well.
Exactly.
Kamala Harris.
No, I mean,
You said who?
Kamala Harris.
No, I'm not doing
I'm saying,
Where's the joy? We gotta bring joy back, nigga. My bills are high as fuck.
okay,
Fuck
so,
joy. Right?
remember,
Lower them.
Your bills was high,
been high. Yeah.
mad high. So what she was running on, this is what she was saying. Like we giving her the same respect that we get.
But
Like
she in office too, though.
true, but she's not the president. The vice president can do. The vice president can do shit. But remember,
vice president is the president
nobody
of the
was
Congress.
this mad at Mike Pence.
You know what I'm saying?
Nobody was this hot with Mike
Because
Pence.
Mike Pence was agreeing with
He
the
was just-
president.
he was just sitting back.
He didn't have much to.
He just didn't have much to say.
Hey,
Like,
wait. Did Mike Pence run for president?
nigga,
Oh,
Mike
okay,
Pence
thank
got
you, I appreciate
attacked.
it, guys.
Mike Pence got attacked. He was done with.
No, because y'all are saying if Mike Pence would have ran for president and he's saying
Yeah,
shit
we
that's like,
probably
I'm
would've been-
going to do different shit
Yeah.
from Trump, they'd be like, why didn't you do it then?
Yeah.
He wasn't in the same position as Kamala Harris.
Okay,
So we can't
the
compare that.
again. But the thing about that is, it's like you're asking her again. Going back to like let's put it back to one of our examples earlier. Jerry Jones and the Cowboys.
Yeah.
You're asking you're asking the
GM.
the
yeah.
GM
Yeah.
to look at Jerry in the draft room
And be like,
and be like, we're not drafting who you like, Jerry. We're drafting my man's.
yeah.
And think that's gonna
Nah,
gonna fly.
I feel you.
Like you just think that's gonna fly?
You're going
Like,
to fire
It
the
just-
vice
it
president?
It just sucks to hear somebody who's in office telling
don't-
you when
no, I
I
don't have
become
to-
president, I'm going to do all these things.
I don't
that
have
we
to
should
fire
have been
you.
doing from the beginning.
I don't have to fire you. I just
All right, look. Check
I don't
this
have to
out.
fire you if I just tell you no.
But
Why
the
do I have to
president-
fire you? I can just say no. We're
even
not
though-
doing that.
even-
And everyone in this room,
Right.
even though they agree with you, they're gonna do what I say.
No,
because
we
this is
agree.
my
Nah,
shit.
because
We
look.
agree.
Guess what?
I
Who's
agree.
who's the big tiebreaker in the executive branch? Who's the big tiebreaker? No. Which body of people is the big tiebreaker?
Congress.
Thank you. Yeah. Who is the leader of Congress?
Democrats.
The vice president.
Okay.
If the vice president is
Speaker
the
of
president of Congress, they are the ultimate tiebreaker. Kamala Harris broke a bunch of laws that she could have went. So she dictated stuff arguably just as much as Joe Biden. So we can't say vice presidents don't have any power, guys.
Because it falls under the executive branch.
All right, hold on. Here's the thing. If
the president is the leader of the executive branch.
If we have a law that's being proposed and it's saying we can give schools more money or less money, and then the president got shit to do with this. This are lawmakers, Congress are making these laws, and Kamala Harris is the one saying nay or yay, and she's the last vote. She's essentially choosing which ones we have.
Right.
Which is more power than the president unless he writes an executive order. That's the only time he has that much power.
Cool. So what I'm saying is we two people on the same team, president, vice president. We ran together. So our ideals are the same.
Similar.
Yes. They're like we similar but not congruent.
Right.
You feel me? So
she should have separated herself from Joe Biden on her
No,
campaign.
what he's saying is
I'm just saying,
play her role in that position.
But I'm bringing it back to why we originally started talking about this. She was running for president, and she was running on the same shit, basically saying it's going to be more of the same.
No. Okay. So
she did say that too, though.
No, that's true. So what was more of the same? My man, again, like we said, inflation peaked at 9%. He brought it down. More of the same. Where we're going, the direction that we're going in. She also ran on a few things. Like maybe that slogan wasn't the best because niggas was not happy with what he did. No. But like again, she got thrown into the fire bad. That's a party move. That's not her. It's not like Kamala Harris was like, I promise y'all I'm gonna smoke him in the fourth quarter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like she got thrown into this situation, and then some of the things that made me want to vote for her, right? She said that she didn't say she was going to give her the department. Like she didn't say everything Trump said, right? That was because everything I really do most things that Trump said during his campaign were detrimental to how we currently know society.
What do you mean, 2016 or 20?
No, not this one. Versus
like what?
24. Like the Department of Education thing.
What else?
DEI. Again. We talking about a program, and the immigration thing. Okay. Yeah. Because America is an immigrant. America is an immigrant. So to now turn
America's a legal immigrant.
You can't be an American.
He just said you got to come in the right way. That's all he's saying. Yeah, don't jump the fence and fucking.
We didn't do it the right way. We didn't do it.
No, I'm just saying you can jump the fence from the north border too.
Yeah, but we didn't do it the right way neither.
Huh?
We didn't do it the right way neither.
Thanksgiving, so that means we should keep doing it the wrong way?
Thanksgiving is our celebration of the way we did it.
That means we should keep doing it the wrong way?
We them boys.
Okay.
We left them on Plymouth
So we should keep
Rock.
doing it like that? So we should keep doing that? Or should we create a system of legal...
So now all of
a sudden, let's button up our jacket. Okay, now all of a sudden...
Yes, I'm a chill
So, because we didn't just stop there. We took land, stole people, forced them to build the country up.
I'm about to say,
those people are gone.
The America.
Nigga, them people are gone. Anybody who did that is dead.
But we inherit. It's like, yo, bro, if your family are king and queens, it don't matter if you ever become the king.
What other country has open border? What other country has open border that you can just go and get benefits from?
What other country?
What other first world country?
This? There is no. We only get the flack because we the biggest, gang. It's like the only niggas that's fucking with us. There's one dude that tells them what to do.
Hold up. That's like saying we should leave the doors unlocked to the most important building in the fucking world, which is like
we don't leave the door unlocked. There is a law. Yo, you gotta come through.
That's all we saying.
Cool. But now we taking money. Again, the same thing. We saying that fuck the Department of Education, who was already only getting 1%.
Money way before it got here.
We give money to Ukraine.
Again, but all right, fuck all that, right?
But then buy it for that.
Because I don't want to keep harping on the Department of Education shit.
Right.
Like
that's why I asked the other ones. I was like, what else?
I'm just saying the federal budget as a whole, in order for us to be America in the way that we have grown up and know America, there's certain bank accounts that get filled. You get me? U.S. aid, for instance,
it should be U.S. military.
Let's talk about it, right? U.S. military gets most of the money. So now USAID gets a small soft power, right? They do the USAID shit, so we don't have to send troops into the country.
We have to trust that they do the right thing with the money, though.
It doesn't. Again, it's just like when you give a crack. It's just like when you give a bum on the street some bread.
Wait, so you comparing us to a bum?
No, I'm comparing them to the bum on the street.
Oh, okay.
That's like no.
Money.
That's like giving a bum on the street the bread to go pay your light bill, and they don't do that. They go and go smoke crack with it.
No, because USAID is not a account that's directly tied to how America, like how the lights get turned on and off here. You get what I'm saying? USAID is how we continue to extend influence and how we continue to be in the minds of the people in these other countries. When you go to these other countries, these smaller ones, and they like, ooh, American, ooh, America. I can't wait. Why do you think they always want to come here so bad? Because we do that. We extend our culture. We extend our it's like a we giving your leaders, like it's a leader to leader thing. Me to you. You the leader of a smaller place. I give you this bread, and I tell you, this is what you should do with this money.
Overthrow the government.
And then you do it. Yeah. You go do that, and you see how it affects your people. Now you come back, and I say, you should do this too. But this time, we're going to have this American company set up the infrastructure. Yeah. Oh, okay, yes.
So it's colonialism?
Basically, in a sense, it's the same American playbook that's always been ran.
For sure.
But the problem is now, all of a sudden now, it's like, let's dismantle this. No, because then then we start to, because you know who adopted that playbook? All of our enemies, who have one guy that yes and knows everything. China, they do that. That's why
nobody bigger than the program, aka the Constitution.
That's a lie.
Who?
They're rewriting it every day.
Who? They're amending it. They're adding on to it. The bill.
Bigger than the program. The China making it bigger. You see, like with the Panama thing, when Rubio basically told them, "Yo, China has too much influence over." Well, that's what Trump is saying. China has too much influence over this thing.
You see what they doing in Africa?
And exactly.
Teaching Mandarin.
Exactly.
And so what the Africans doing? Get your motherfucking asses out of here.
But that's after they already done accepted all the bread.
Mm-hmm.
You get me? So they accepted the bread. Obviously, to the naked eye, didn't advance the whole continent. Certain countries in Africa are doing their thing. You feel me? But obviously, as a whole continent, Africa's behind.
Yeah.
So what is China doing? Using its soft power, its money, it's build these bridges here, do this. Yeah, we'll fund your fucking play for your tribal stuff. We don't give a fuck. We're sitting on trillions. This shit is costing us what they're talking about shit that costs millions of dollars, and we're sitting on trillions. And there's a budget for this. So it's like, I give you $100, and you decide you're gonna take $5 and give it to the bum. I'm supposed to be like, Delgado, that ain't what I give you that $100 for.
Man, of course, no, that's not the same though. Because listen, we're not donating money out of the kindness of our heart. They're taking our money to use for us to better us. If I had the option, I wouldn't give. A lot of niggas don't give the bum the money, and sometimes I don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I don't have it. So my point is, if we go and audit these niggas and we find out that they're using this money for shit that we as the constituents don't agree with, that should be transparent, and they weren't being transparent with it. That's why they're trying to go into the building. I know you seen the video yesterday. Maxine Waters saying, "What is your name? Show me your ID."
I've seen that.
What y'all tripping for if you ain't got nothing to hide?
It's not about hiding anything. I mean, you can see what they're spending the money on. Like the artists.
We can now.
Yeah, we can. Sure. And that's what the people are mad about. They're like that because that's what's making on Fox. That's what's making the headlines. 280 million on a play, and who cares? Who cares because again,
you have to care.
Why not? That's your money.
Because again, all this money is being allocated. It's not like, again, I give y'all y'all collect a pool of taxes, and then only faith I have in y'all to this point is to divvy it up the right way. You get what I'm saying? So these programs are created with a mission in mind. You get what I'm saying? So USAID is created to extend the reach and culture and influence of America
and you trust them to do the right thing at this point in your life?
I mean, it's been working so far.
We can't be better?
Yeah, everybody can do better for sure. Everybody can do better.
It's been working for who though?
It's been working for
because when you think about your taxes, you're thinking about not only like your local stuff, but just state overall. Like
That they get a piece of the tax.
a lot of the money that's been accoladed, it hasn't been really showing up anywhere. Especially when inflation gets real high, and then we got to pay these overly prices for eggs and milk.
So let's talk about it.
So where's this money going that we paying our taxes on? If you feel like everything need to be inflation rated, you should be taking our taxes.
Yeah, and if the prices are going to keep going up, at least let us keep the taxes in our pockets so we can stimulate the economy.
Okay, those are two different things.
Instead of doing transgender plays in
Like
Iraq.
what you saying in the first part, you saying, I'm gonna just attack part I can remember right now. The eggs, the inflationary on the eggs thing. When same thing I asked him the other day. When the last time you saw a bag of chips for 25 cents?
Oh, it's been since I had to be when I was like a kid. Felt like
Since minimum wage was what, $3.
Minimum wage hasn't improved. Minimum wage been $7 since like however long. Look it up. Do your research. Minimum wage hasn't improved in a long time, but everything else goes up.
Yep.
When like your grandma used to tell you, even when we was buying 25-cent chips, she was telling us how it used to be at 5 cents, right? Like things go up. There's no law, because same thing like we was talking about outside with the landlords during COVID, right? Like when you put a stop on, you don't put a stop on the landlords from collecting the money and raising the rents. You put a stop on the people from paying the rent. You're gonna get inflation because the people have more money.
Yeah.
So just like in the housing market, if I want this iPhone, you want this iPhone, and you want the iPhone, but China is telling us
We ain't making enough.
we got enough. Y'all just won't be able to get it for another like 2 months. Got it. But every store that got the iPhone right now, we hear they like shit. Well, whoever got the bread, come get it. Who you really mad at? You mad at you not thinking about, you thinking you happy because you got more money. You so poor, you just got
So
money.
you saying whatever Trump did affected the supply chain to where it did
No,
fucked up the
not what Trump
supply
did.
and demand?
Not what Trump did.
COVID.
COVID did that.
COVID.
Did that.
Okay.
Trump's response to COVID is what played a part. Wasn't the only thing, but what played a major part.
Closing everything down, you mean?
Giving the money. It's like I said, like I told him earlier. You had two options.
Why wouldn't you give him money? Everybody's job was closed.
You had two options in my mind. I could, two options. You don't give nobody the money, but you tell the landlords they can't collect no rent. That way, you're not losing.
The landlord's losing.
I mean,
Unless they stop getting
but
paid or
no,
whatever.
they're not. You know why they're not losing in that
They
scenario?
already paid off the land.
No, because no one's able to collect on debt. If you stop the collection on debt, you tell landlords, yo, you can't charge rent until we get this shit back up. You can't kick nobody. Cause you tell banks, yo, we gotta freeze the credit card payments. Niggas can't pay that right now. When you tell mortgage people, yo, give these people a 60-day hold on their mortgages. We need to figure this out. No one's losing anything because there is no money being circulated.
Has America ever done that before?
Have we ever had COVID before?
We had the Spanish flu.
We had Great Depressions.
We had the Spanish
But
flu.
now the Great Depression is a different situation. That's a financial crisis. This was literally a global.
It's a pandemic. Yeah,
So
but the
it's
Spanish flu was the last one, 1921 or 1919, right before the Great Depression, actually.
True, and you can see how things tend to correlate.
Yep.
You leave people are now dying at a crazy rate.
But
So
that's
now-
why Fauci got pardoned, because he was capping about the rate
Fauci-
of infection for whatever reason. What did Pfizer's stock do?
And what has it done since?
Hey, they got exposed.
Because again, my point with that is like we gotta get to a point where we're asking more of, we're investigating why this is getting prioritized over this. Right, like that's my point. And like when I see where Trump is taking a lot of stances on, even Kamala, I didn't agree with everything they were saying. You feel what I'm saying? But like you can't afford a house, so I'm going to give you a $25,000 grant. Anyone who you still had to be creditworthy. You still had to be had a job. You still had to pass the
That
bank.
helps a very specific group of people. It's gonna help.
I mean, it helps way more people than it hurts because
Just like no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on social security.
that's a smaller group.
Is it?
Yeah, because
We don't know that.
because when
I'm
you
talking
think,
about the overtime workers.
I'm talking about
He's talking about all three. He's talking about tips, overtime, and Social Security.
that's a smaller group
recipients.
than anyone who now. Cause so they say that the number for our generation, the thing that's keeping us out of the market is the down payment and being. So if now you're getting $25,000 for a down payment, that means you can afford a lot of house.
Even if everybody raises the house price by $25,000.
you could do that. You could do that because most people are going to qualify for the
And you
FHA
still gotta
loan.
pay that $25,000 back too.
No, we don't. It's a credit.
It's a tax credit.
It's a tax credit.
You got to pay it up front, but
It's
you
a
have
tax
to pay.
credit.
They pay
It's
it
a tax
back.
credit. So like you said, so everyone's gonna primarily, like most people, the biggest group of people that this is gonna affect is gonna probably take advantage of the FHA loan.
Yep.
Which with that, you only gotta put 3.5% down.
Yes, sir.
So if you were buying like a $300,000 crib, you only need 12 bands.
Yep.
Some shit like that.
And you
feel
got
me?
25.
And you got 25.
Yeah.
So now there's excess in the pool because we're only giving you what you need. We're not giving you the whole 25 if you don't need it. We're giving you what you need. You send us the info, you do the thing. When you close, that's your down payment. It's there. The bank gets it. Everyone's happy, right? Well, no, we said no to that because that's our money.
That's one thing. That's only one thing that she proposed.
Time out. She also proposed to increase the tax child credit. Another play on that play, because this middle class and the middle class and low income class, these are the people that, again, when you
Rely on their income tax.
and are being taxed at the highest rate.
But look, all right, here, let me hit you with a philosophical thing. One, let's talk about liberals versus conservatives. One believes in a
You
new.
always gotta put this into categories, though.
No, I'm gonna explain why. Philosophically, one side of the spectrum has more of a favorable stance towards nuclear family, towards having kids, towards all these things that Kamala's proposing, and it's not the side that she's proposing it to. So she's kind of going an immovable object versus an unstoppable force in that sense. She's pitching to people that you should have more kids, to the party of liberals who don't care to have kids. A lot of the people who don't want to have kids are these these caricatures of, the color hair, the septum piercing, the feminist girls who are like, oh no, we're just gonna have a community of women when we get old, and it's not gonna be kids and all this. And you got conservatives who are like, no, we're gonna have kids because that's how it is. That's how America's always been. You have your generation of kids, your kids take care of us, and you have your grandparents, like the family structure. So she's kind of preaching something, like a lot of the things the Democrats did were like just contradictory, and that's why I feel like they didn't really win. They didn't have a straight message in that sense, because this is the same party that has older black folks. Those are vote blue no matter who's. Also, they have the LGBT community. Those are vote blue no matter who's. And those two communities do not get along. So that was never going to even make sense within your own party. And then you got everybody in between who's more so like you, who's more so just a good person, a good human, and they feel like, because of most of the media outlets being more so liberal than conservative, the narrative is that Republicans are racist, conservatives are racist. This is the party of Donald Trump. These are the KKK. They endorse them. It's the propaganda of it all that makes it seem like one side is this, and it just doesn't make sense over here as far as the left versus the right. The right, they're consistent on point. They're gonna be like, okay, we want less government, we want closed borders, and it's less federal government, less and closed borders. We want they don't really agree as much with the LGBT shit. I'm not saying I do, but I'm saying like that's their part. So they know how to speak to their base, and they're gonna galvanize them every time. And that's why I feel like this year they wanted the people who are on the fence more, because the people who are on the fence this year, looking at the last 4 years, they're saying, yeah, we don't really want everybody to kind of just flood the country. We don't really want, a lot of stuff. We don't really want the whole, drag shows or whatever. We want some transparency within our government. So they were liking the whole Doge idea. That's what I'm saying. Is like the Democrats' message was just all over the place, kind of. And then they switched candidates in the middle of the campaign. So that's what I'm saying. They're just not organized.
I think that's what killed him.
I don't know. I was just giving a synopsis on how I kind of view that side versus the other side, which seems to be kind of on the same page.
I think my whole problem is looking at it from just a backside, not taking any sides. Mm-hmm. You see that both sides use that's a social problem to me. So both sides use social problems to, like you said, galvanize and excite people. When we have problems that can be solved, like we can solve those social problems from a federal level. Nobody really campaigns on like, yo, I'm about to be I'm about to start dispersing this money around. Again, like let's go back to the tax thing, right? Like taxes are the only way the government eats, right? Like for real, right? Like they have to tax the people, they have to tax the corporations, that's it. So last time Trump was president, you asked me outside, I was waiting until you got on camera for this. What is one of the things I thought was bad? When you cut corporate tax in a country that supposedly is a company, so like there's a lot of corporations here, and you then raise the tax of the people who are barely getting by anyway, but like the middle class people got taxed, or the working class, the people, like it's like you tax the workhorse, right? And you give the people who figured it out and it now make way more. I mean, like they make such a disparaging amount difference than everyone else combined. You give them a tax break. You now force the country to have to blood suck our money on the middle ground, because the poor people don't got no bread, right? Like, so it's us. It's just the whole middle class funding everything, while all these companies get to have tax cuts, while all these super rich dudes, these people can't afford, like Charlie Munger, one of the Warren Buffett's mans. Warren Buffett even said, even Trump said it last time when he was talking about Hillary. He said, if y'all change the tax code, I will pay my fair share. It's not crooked Hillary she didn't do it. She's never the president.
But they're claiming that he was the one evading his taxes and shit.
He was, because,
and they were too.
But not again. He's a billionaire who's now getting tax cuts, not from his, like he said, I agree with him. This is just I'm taking advantage of what's in front of me, just like you are. You trying to villainize me for it, but my problem ain't that. My problem is now you get in presidency and then you cut taxes again for your people. That it's a disparaging effect on who it helps and hurts.
So one thing I've heard is, whether you agree or not, is that his first term, like you said, he wasn't a politician. He don't know these people. He ain't never did this shit before. They say he gets the wrong people in there. He gets the wrong people around him, bad people that he gets in his cabinet and whatnot. And this is the thing I heard from a lot of independents. I would watch like the people interview independents saying like, "Oh, how are you feeling this year?" And the people that were leaning towards him were saying like the fact that he got endorsed by RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk. A lot of Democrats liked Elon Musk before all this, but now everybody hates him.
I wonder why.
He was getting endorsed by them. That was the reason for a lot of people, or even Vivek, JD Vance, whoever. A lot of people voted for him.
JD Vance before this.
I never even heard of him either. I never heard of him until all this. But the fact that RFK and Tulsi, or actually really for me it was Tulsi Gabbard, because when I was more of a progressive, she was like a big person on that end. And obviously Bernie Sanders was like the leader of all that. But
Bernie Sanders should be president, but before he dies, he should get a crack.
He should, but
like a 10-day internship.
I'm not as high on him as I used to be.
Just a 10-day internship. Give him a 10-day internship and 2 executive orders.
10-day contract is
and
crazy.
Just see what he can do. Like he got to be able to do 2 executive orders real quick. Just see what he does. Let's see.
What I'm saying is that the fact that now he has a whole different the group of cabinet of people around him, I think that's a bit different. I think that's what makes the difference for a lot of people's eyes, and why they say, "Oh, he was in there before. He's going to do the same thing." A lot of people were saying like, and he admits it. He was like, "Yeah, I had a lot of bad people around me. I had a lot of these motherfuckers I shouldn't have had in there. A lot of war hawks, a lot of just snakes for real. I'm not going to get them back in this cabinet again." You know what I'm saying? So that's what a lot of people were giving him the benefit of the doubt.
I mean, I don't know, because a lot of his old cabinet, again, most of his old cabinet were career politicians, political
That's what
figures.
he's saying was the issue.
For sure.
Right. And to me, that's, how Hitler came to power? He convinced people that they didn't need a government system like how they're kind of used to. They needed some radical.
That far yet, though. I don't think we that far yet.
No.
No.
I'm saying it. Do I think that's where we at? No, I'm just saying like that's the idea of like, this is how these people come to power. Yeah. It's like we need a radical overhaul of what's going on when the majority of people who are gonna say, yeah, they don't even know how the shit works to begin with.
Yeah.
You're talking about changing things and you're voting on policies that, again, it may not affect your life. It may not. And yes, you might benefit from a tax increase if if he even does that, because again, to cut taxes again is crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Like you gave what they said is one of the biggest tax cuts for corporations and the 1%ers on record. So for you to go do it again is crazy. For you, Trump, to be the one to take it back.
Take it back? What do you mean?
So like for you to raise taxes, it's like it's like if I slap you and then take you to the hospital, like did I really do you a favor, my nigga?
Yeah.
If I cut your taxes and then raise them,
yeah.
Like I would have to raise them to an amount I would have to raise.
I guess I'll have to see if that's what happened. I'll take your word for it though. But
No, I'll show you. My nigga, man, I'll show you. Trump signed in 2017.
I just looked it up. 2017.
Yeah, the Trump
That's what I
tax.
said earlier,
The Trump
the
tax.
2017 tax plan,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Trump
Or
tax.
outside
That
of
was
it.
one of the
And
big.
he did exactly what he said. He
Yeah.
gave corporation big tax cuts. And
And that was the
paid
problem.
more taxes.
Now, listen,
Now Biden didn't change it, which doesn't make him like a great guy. Like he could have came in.
Kamala was going to change it.
No, she didn't. No, she wasn't going to change it
she wasn't
either.
gonna change that
She
either.
was going to. She was just going to
Give you
try to
more
level
tax
the playing
breaks.
field
Yeah.
in a way that
Tax
makes
credits.
sense. That's going to actually get voted on.
So one thing that for Trump giving the corporations tax break is because he's saying that he was trying to create jobs. So where you can keep money in their pocket, they can pay more employees, you create jobs, so and such.
Okay.
You
You
speaking
create
on
job-
2025?
2017.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
His whole thing he ran on was job creation, drill baby drill,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck
I
that
dig
shit
it.
was.
I dig
He
it.
ain't do with the drill baby
And
drill
I think
back
and
then.
I
He didn't
think
do
two
that.
things can be true. I think it did
I
stimulate.
just think it shouldn't be like
I think it did stimulate job growth.
I mean, and that's the thing. I feel like a lot of people simply just can't say one positive thing that Donald Trump did,
Which
which means they're not living in a
but
realistic world.
But the problem with
I could say a good thing Joe Biden did, even though I think he wasn't a great president.
Which is? Motherfucker caught him. I caught
Hold
him.
up, give me a second. He said he was
fucking
forgiving
caught
student loans. Oh wait, he didn't do that.
He didn't
I
do
mean,
that.
he did for
He
some.
gave some people. Yeah.
Some
some
people
niggas,
did. Some
yeah,
people got some.
Okay, so boom, there you
Some
go.
people got
some
some.
people got
Again, right? Like you
That's all I
got,
can think
but
of.
again, remember when he tried to give the student loan thing,
It was divided.
it was blocked.
Yeah, it was divided.
The Republican Congress blocked
It was divided.
the
Why
block
did he give it to some people?
Because only some people got it before they blocked
before they blocked it.
Yeah.
It was
So wait. So he was able to get it past Congress initially, and then they just jumped in out of nowhere and blocked it.
Yeah, they can't.
That's what. Remember, like you said earlier, Congress is the tiebreaker. So if I, the executive branch, say we want to do this, and you guys, I'm gonna sign this, and I'm gonna do this. I mean, he's not Trump. He's not executive ordering this shit.
Why not?
Right? Like, it's
Because that's not how it works.
they don't generally do that.
That's how it works.
They just
but
don't generally do that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna just be honest. Like, we lived a whole life. How many presidents have we heard just say
An
executive order here,
Yeah.
executive order here, executive order? Like this
Some
nigga came
of
in.
his executive orders got blocked though. Some of them did.
And then he put a law through that made his executive orders more powerful. He implemented that rule in his first presidency.
What law was that? What's it called?
Yeah, we definitely.
Go ahead.
I definitely
Look
want.
at that. Look at that. I never heard of
It's
that.
called, but that's what
I ain't never heard of that.
But he do have the Supreme Courts and all.
So why
that.
didn't Joe Biden just do that and then
Because he
forgive all
doesn't have-
student
He
loans?
doesn't have the power. Like,
Whoa, so So you mean Trump made a law to where he's the only one that can ever do this?
No, he made it to where executive orders, him and the Republican Congress put a order through that gave executive orders more power. Biden had the ability during his presidency, but didn't do it. He just never fucking did it until maybe the last year that he was in.
Interesting.
That was what it was.
That's
He had
interesting.
the power.
Again, my nigga.
Interesting.
Because you got to think about like we've been saying, Joe Biden is a career politician, bro. Like
A corrupt politician, you said?
career. All right.
That was a good one.
I didn't hear him.
That was a good one.
I didn't hear what you said.
That was a good one.
So I put it to chat GPT.
Yeah.
I was like, did Trump amplify his executive order power more?
Yeah.
Yes, Donald Trump has recently taken significant steps to expand
Supreme
the
Court.
power of the executive branch through a series of executive orders and action. These measures have been described as a shock and an all campaign to test the limits of the executive authority. Key actions include attempted restrict, all that, like birthright citizenship,
Yeah.
federal funding, federal agencies. These legal scholars note that Trump's efforts.
They're just telling you what
Yeah,
he
they're
did
telling you
in
what
his
he did,
executive
type
order.
So he didn't do what y'all just said, basically.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I mean,
he didn't make
I
no
don't know.
one law saying only I can do this and raise
No.
the power of the
I
executive
mean, you
branch.
can't do
But
that.
he did put a lot of people in position to amplify his
anything that he did.
Political
Them
power.
niggas could have did too.
No,
Is my
hold on, time
point.
out. But here's the play with
But
that.
they
right?
lie to niggas and say we're gonna do this, and they don't
Nah,
because
bro,
they know
because-
niggas
nah,
is vote blue no matter who.
They don't lie.
They're
They-
tribal.
They don't lie because they don't tell you that they about to do this radical shit. Democrats don't tell you like, yo, we about to come
Joe
in and
Biden said he's
overhaul.
gonna forgive
We
all
about to
student
come in over-
loans. I just said
and
that.
he tried and it got blocked.
He could have bypassed it. How is
How-
Trump doing all this shit? And
Because,
you know
again,
the other people didn't
there's
want
a-
them to happen.
Because this is just my opinion on it, right? Like when I say the only reason why I keep saying he's a career politician, when I say that like that, it's like a person who they play the game the way the game is played. You get me? So like when you Biden and you get into the presidency, especially after a Trump administration where he was signing his pen is still fire hot.
That shit was
on
smoking.
the desk. You feel me?
Facts.
You not trying to
Smoking
come
more now.
You feel me? You not trying to come in and be like that.
Why not?
Because your whole race was run on like, yo, I'm different than this dude. Like this dude don't know how we.
I'm status quo. Yeah, I'm gonna bring it back to just.
This dude don't really know how we do it up
And
here.
people were tired of that.
But they weren't tired of it when Biden first ran because he smoked Trump.
Yeah.
They were tired of his radicalness. And then when Biden came through and gave y'all a snooze fest for 4 years, y'all thought he was bullshit.
What happened to those 20 million votes?
What happened to him?
It said the Democrats, Trump got the same amount of votes this year when he smoked Kamala Harris, and than he did in 2020. Kamala Harris got 20 million less votes than Biden did.
I don't know.
There's a lot of people that didn't vote.
The whole disparity with he got actually found guilty for fucking with the election, bro. Like I don't even want to debate niggas with that.
You talking about Trump?
Yeah,
In
like,
Georgia?
he got found guilty for that shit, bro. Like they did their job and they went
What
to
state, in
trial
Georgia?
and he actually tampered with the election, bro. That's real shit. Like I don't want to
What did
get
he do
into
to
all
tamper
that.
with the election?
I don't know if Biden I don't know if Biden
I gotta
didn't
look
tamper
this
with
up.
the
Never heard of
election.
it.
I just know Trump got caught. You get what I'm saying? Like they was on his head and they made
Right.
sure and they told the people. So I'm not saying that don't always happen, but like now we got you on record for doing it. So nigga, we could hold that to you. We could put that on your jacket, my nigga.
Right,
You
right.
feel me? And again, it's when you a political dude, you playing the game how you supposed to play it. You not about to come in here and do all this hot shit. My nigga tried to get his main thing that he ran on. Yo, I'm about to forgive the student loans. Niggas blocked him every time he tried to do. He got blocked at every corner, every level of
Why
government.
didn't they
blocked
block
him.
them from sending money to Ukraine then?
Why didn't they? That's a good question. Because they in cahoots with the shit.
I don't think they blocked the
They in
student loan
cahoots
thing.
with they in cahoots with that, but they want to tell you that he was wilding for sending.
So it's basically all about who you believe and who you don't believe.
Basically.
Essentially. Because we can say the same thing
religion
about
at this
other.
point.
Nah, because there's only reason why
propaganda.
I don't like that because it's dismissive to how
I'm not trying to be
dismissive to what
dismissive.
the problems are. The problems aren't.
No, the problem is y'all don't like the guy.
It
And
does-
y'all think everything that he doing is going to lead into something negative. Y'all don't
Propaganda.
think about the positive that might come out of it.
We went.
And this is someone who used to be a Democrat.
We
and
weighing. We
progressive.
We just weighing good versus bad, bro. It's like all you.
But
That's
it-
subjective.
I was just about to say that it is very subjective because
How
how
you
many
figure?
people? How many people are?
How you figure the subjective?
Good and bad is subjective, unless you're talking about more like murder
'cause what
and
did he do
rape
morally
and stuff.
that is
Morals is off
harming?
the morals is off
Okay,
the
there.
table because morals is subjective.
What has he done to this point? Because I keep trying to figure out what he done to this point where y'all just like this nigga is a piece of shit. Because there's people who did tax cuts. There's people who raised the taxes. Those people don't get looked as bad people.
No, they did at the time. When niggas when you the president, you
point
getting
of the
judged.
Boston Tea Party and everything. We've been not liking taxes, and I'm still trying to figure out why we got taxes at this
I
point.
think people hate him because the shit he said in his first administration was it was very flagrant. He was wilding with saying
he
shithole
been-
countries,
yeah.
But he
niggas
doubled,
saying grab by
but
the
he doubled
pussy.
down
All
on
that stuff was
shit.
crazy.
He
he
doubled
been
he doubled down on that shit.
But
and this time
hold
he
on.
gave y'all
But
even
why
love
everybody
America,
hold up?
He
But
gave
why
y'all
Americans
little
acting like
extra
why
sauce.
everybody acting
We
like
love
they ain't
real
never
niggas,
saw the
though.
shit though? That's what I'm saying.
We love real niggas.
That's
though.
what I'm
We
saying.
do. Not like I said, son.
What's
I'm not
another
mad.
problem?
Yo, bro.
I'd rather him
Y'all
say
love-
his shit than him be.
You know what the problem?
Y'all love rappers though. They love rappers though. Talking about killing niggas.
But you know,
These same people love rappers.
But you know what the problem is? The problem is like the problem is when you give the rapper and the president the same level
not
of
doing
the
that.
same level
I
of
just said
freedom,
real niggas.
right? Like Even the real nigga, he ain't held to the standard that the president got to be held to.
But my thing
the
is, would you rather have somebody be more transparent than you?
Wait, all right, so
No.
you more
out in the open?
No, not there.
So
why not? That's how we got in this position in the first place.
Because,
That's why Joe's
hold on.
uncovering
You know why though?
20 billion to transgender plays in Iraq.
Because he's just.
I'd rather know your motives than instead of do it beyond my
He's
back.
just
Exactly.
he's just one man, right?
I agree.
He's just one man that controls a lot. So when he comes out and tells you in
But
your
you
face,
just told us he don't control a lot because
he-
we got checks and balances to tell people to say, "Hey, that executive order, we don't agree."
and
to
he
that.
and
Get
he
that
is
shit outta
and
here.
he done put his people in place to say, yes, we can. When the check
You
come
still-
up,
you still the people,
Why didn't
though.
Biden do
when
it
the
though?
check come
You're
up,
still
because
the
that's
people,
not-
though.
because
That's the
not
point of the
how it
democracy,
works.
right?
That's not how it works.
We're
What do you mean how it works? They
democracy, we're
create
the
how
people.
it works.
Exactly.
These
they created.
people
they
So why-
agreed
so he
to
coulda
put
did
this man
something.
at president. It ain't like we just saying we wanted him. It was
I
a
mean,
collective
I don't know.
Popular
people.
vote.
We said he fucked. He tampered with.
What you think?
It's way more people who
Alright.
saying.
So look, this is what I'm saying.
They ain't saying it was a.
This is all I'm saying. This is what I'm saying to that. Right, like
Okay.
we the people put the dude in the spot.
Yes.
The dude that takes the spot, he has a job.
Correct.
His job is to oversee all these different pieces of these different arms of the octopus.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
And now he starts prioritizing certain arms over other arms. Now they all do that. They all. I'm not here to act like Trump is different from, because they all prioritize certain arms because they come in and they tell you, yo, when I come in, I'm prioritizing this arm.
Yep.
Like, so be ready for that.
Yep.
Like so the problem with Trump is the arms you're prioritizing,
Which are.
Immigration.
like, again, I don't have a problem with. I'm not here to say, yo, let anyone in who want to be in. Nah, of course, do it the right way. But now, in a move where you're criticizing the education, you're criticizing.
Did he criticize it or he just?
He criticized America's education first, and then said
How did
it's
he
because
criticize it?
he said we're falling behind in all the major categories.
And that's true.
True, but then he
And
said
that happened before he even got here, right?
That's true.
Yes.
But then he
Okay.
said it's because of the Department of Education. Because
Because it's their
He said,
job.
he's not saying. He's saying they're not helping.
He
which
said
is
it
their
was, no,
sole
he-
job.
their job.
He said it was their fault.
Fucking sweet.
He said it was
He
their
gonna
fault.
always say it's somebody's
That's what I'm
fault.
All right,
saying.
cool. So when you start assigning faults as I'm the leader, and when I start telling you did some shit wrong, nigga, you better had did it wrong. That's you talking about transparency. I'm talking about accountability. I want my man to be. I don't
So
want
that's
you
not
to be
him holding them accountable.
No, because again, you're telling these people, you've been a president before, so now you know that this shit is underfunded.
And that's why he's saying y'all are accountable for this.
This shit is underfunded. Again, you went on a rampage saying how we was wasting money. So instead of sending that money to Ukraine, that put it in the schools.
That's y'all boy.
Boy, I'm about to throw this mic.
No, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Lose my mind right now.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
I'm trying not to lose
But
my
no,
mind
but that's
right
what I'm
now.
saying. I'm saying if Trump was really trying to show me something, you trying to show me something, you trying to show me that these niggas ain't shit.
Yeah.
Give them the money they've been telling you for 30 years that they fucking need. Go look at the
What do you
department.
think Doge is for? You gotta. So the only way to do that is to increase taxes or
What is
find
Doge
other
for,
money.
my nigga?
I'm sorry,
Doge,
hold
my
on.
nigga, Elon Musk.
Listen.
Elon Musk
Let me
is
cook. Let me cook. Let him cook.
Go ahead.
The only way to do what you're talking about to give them more money is to either raise our taxes, true or false.
Or you got to find out where the
That's
money
not
going.
easy. No. How is you gonna get the money? By taking it from somewhere else, right?
You divvy it up better, yeah.
Okay, so instead of us losing out on being the strongest, most powerful military in the world, we can just we can audit. Hold on. I didn't finish. We can audit where this money at USA is going to, where the Department of Education is going to, because the education is going down, and take that money that's not being used properly and put it towards what you're talking about.
I understand.
On a state level.
Okay, so do you
And the Ukraine fucking money.
Do you
Sorry.
know by how far of a majority we are ahead of everyone
Very far.
military wise?
Very far.
So in 2025,
Not enough.
That we know of. That we know of.
Nah, we're pretty far.
Nah, bro. You
So, okay, all right, so
You
how do we
gotta
measure?
know- you
No,
gotta
okay.
just know-
How do we measure that? How do we
You gotta-
measure that? How do we measure that?
That we know of.
No, how do we measure
that's
that?
the
How do we
data they
measure
give
that?
us. It's the data. It's data that's publicly.
I know, but
available.
how would you think that we
Public-
measure that?
It's public.
You can measure it.
It's,
How would you measure how the gap between us and the next powerful country?
they measure it. They
It's
measure
propaganda.
No, they measure it on how much each country is spending on their military.
Right.
So we are outspending other countries by a lot. If we cut it by 5%.
That's the two things can be true.
You see how much less they use money for DeepSeek than our AI?
I'm just saying.
So the money thing don't really mean nothing to me.
But again, that's a company. That's a company.
That's a private company.
That's a private company,
but I'm just saying.
And so is ChatGPT. The people who own ChatGPT is a private company.
Yeah.
We're talking about the federal government that controls everybody's
But look, at least the
shit.
military shit is transparent. This other shit is not transparent, and that's most people's issue.
Because I'm about to punch you in the face.
I didn't. No, that's not. No, what I'm saying is, I didn't know they was doing this shit in other countries and using our money for that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I knew they was using money towards the military.
What I'm saying is, if you, I'm just trying to attack it one thing at a time.
Let's do that.
If the education as a problem, right? If you took 5% of
education as a problem is crazy. I don't think he said that. The department.
Bro, he said
entity is a problem.
No, he said we are behind we are behind in the major categories in education. That's what Trump said. And then he said the reason we are behind is because of the Department of Education not doing their job. They're not living up to it. Okay, so we don't need them anymore. We should let the states handle that. Again, the problem with those three statements is that the first one is true. That's a problem. The second one is dismantling the Department of Education and leaving it, and the third one both together. We've did that before. And that's the only reason why this was created, because that system.
We did what?
We let the states control their
when was this? Before 1967?
Before.
Interesting.
So it didn't work.
60 years ago.
So in order for a unification level, just a ABCD, right? Like that way everyone can know kind of just where ABCD Department of Education gets, and if you pass these standardized testing. You feel me? You on par with the rest of America. That's why all that shit was introduced. You get me? We were literally some of the test dummies for most of that shit. Our class. About why you think the Scantrons used to change
standardized testing you talking about?
Yeah. Again, the problem with that is the money started being allocated to the schools who had the best standardized test. And not the best education results, but just the best standardized testing results. So if I'm a principal, I'm looking at my school like, shit, we either got to win state championship in a sport to get some money.
Yep.
We gotta have the best high test scores. Man, listen, all them fundraisers, cool. Yeah, we can have all that. But I'm talking about to get money from the government.
Get federal funding.
We gonna make sure teachers, make sure y'all gonna get these motherfuckers ready for this test. Because if y'all want to keep your job, right? Job security in this motherfucker. We got the best high test scores. We gonna get that money from the government. Our school gonna be going up. Right. Our school.
So you're saying,
but see, this is what I'm having a problem with. Y'all take one man and what he's saying and doing, but how long have we had
standardized
education of department?
Since 1967?
Yeah.
Okay.
And how good has it been since then to now?
At one point, America was beating all nations in education. We fell behind. Fact check me. Nah, fact check me. We felt fact check.
I'm just saying the Department of Education because I want to be wrong.
Fact check when we fell behind.
1977.
77.
Sorry. So it's even shorter.
Yeah. So and fact check when we fell behind. Like if fact check if we were ever leading in any academic, and when we fell behind.
And when we fell
behind.
It's
so
possible.
Boom. All right.
The United States was the top ranked country for education in the 1960s, 70s, and the mid to late 90s.
Mid to late 90s. That's Bill Clinton.
Skip the 80s?
That's
he said 60s, 70s.
And mid to
late 90s, 2009.
So yeah, so in the 80s during the Reagan era, when niggas was crackheads.
So what happened?
When niggas was crackheads, they couldn't focus on school. We can't. Y'all remember? Y'all all watch Lean on Me.
Though?
You smoke crack, don't you?
So what happened though? So what happened though?
The priorities of other things.
Where the funding goes every time.
So now,
so how you putting all that solely blame on one person? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I'm not.
How you put all of the solely on one person?
I'm telling. One person was in control when it was happening at the time.
We're talking about Trump.
He's now getting his second chance.
That's why it's called the Trump administration. That's why it's called Obama. They're one person.
We're talking about since 1977.
But all right, but again though, from 77, from when it was created. So he said from the 60s. So before it was even created, that's when we was going to space and shit. We was
maybe.
Don't get me to start on that.
I'm about to say, allegedly.
Don't get me to start on that.
Either way, we won. Whether we faked it or not, we won the space race, right?
Supposedly.
So
Yeah,
from the 60s to the 70s and the 80s, when drugs was influencing and not just our country, the mid to low income areas where most people live at, right? We fell off in education because niggas was high out their minds. In the 90s, when they came through with remember it was the war on drugs.
See how y'all putting it so.
Hold on. I got you. I'm a land.
Yeah.
In the 90s, when we had the war on drugs, you're focusing. That's when Dare. Y'all remember Dare? When you had. That's when we're pushing more of an education narrative, right? Y'all got to get back in education. 2000, we killing it. 2000, what happens in 2000? The internet comes.
Yep.
Now everything is online. Everything is.
What doing now? Education? What was that?
That education.
Okay.
Education. Because now the times have changed so drastically that education needs to change drastically.
Yeah.
I don't fault them for not being in 2001 and 2002 being able to catch it, because how the fuck would they know how to move in that era?
Other countries did.
Yes, but they were also coming from zero. It's harder to turn a cruise ship. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember Japan in the 90s? They were
we bombed them first.
Right. So
they had to restart their whole life.
And think about Dubai in the 90s. Think about some of these major places in the 90s.
They found oil.
You feel me? So like we America. It's hard to turn a fucking cruise. Take years to start implementing this internet shit. Mm-hmm. Remember, it caused a stock market crash. We don't even know if we trust this fucking internet. Yeah. Right? Like, so boom. Saying all that to say, like, why do I blame Trump? Mm-hmm. First time you had an opportunity to do something. Like you said. Mm-hmm. You said, I'm a radical. I'm not a politician. I'm about to go in here and show these dudes what they should have been doing. Yeah. And everyone fell for that because we was like, the consensus general was like, yo, America's a company. Mm-hmm. You're a CEO. A very successful man, billionaire from America. Mm-hmm. You should definitely be able to get in there and like lead us in these directions. Not only did that not happen, it didn't happen bad, right? Like it was bad. It was bad. Again,
so when a new administration come in,
and they don't,
since when he first got elected,
right?
Whose job is it to let him know, like, hey, our education is not so good?
Obama said that Trump refused meetings with him when he was trying
to
do
the. Talk to Obama? He not in administration no more.
It's a hold on. Remember when?
But if your department,
no, bro. Remember Trump lost when Trump won the first time. He was taking Obama's place.
Yes,
so
I know that.
The passing of power.
Yeah.
I'm the leaving president. Mm-hmm. You're the coming president. I'm trying to tell you how this shit work, my nigga. Yeah. You telling me, fuck out of here. I know how it works, bro.
But he probably doing that because
I know how it works, bro.
What was Obama
doing for the? Yeah, what was Obama doing about the Department of Education stuff?
I'm not even saying what Obama did. I'm just saying.
Like, why would he be briefing him on it if he wasn't prioritizing it?
When the new administration gets into
it's like an update. Like,
when the new administration gets there,
okay.
I get what you're
saying.
I get what you're saying. When new administration gets in there, the people who's already implemented in these branches of power, their job is to come to Trump and say, "Hey, this is what we're lacking in."
You know why that can't happen? Because when I come in as Trump, all your people from Obama, they're fired.
I'm talking about the Board of Education. Their job is to come to him and let him know.
We've been telling y'all
we've been lacking in these areas.
For sure. And
correct, right?
No, 100%.
Okay.
And the Department of Education has been saying they've needed more funding
for a long time.
So it's like we've been telling
how it falls on one person.
It falls on one person because this is your second chance to make things right. And the first time, again, we're not because we're only trying to address what the problem is. Again, my issue with Trump isn't Trump. I'm from New York. I grew up really liking Donald Trump. Thought he's in most of my favorite rap songs and everything. Trump isn't the issue. I don't care who it is, who the president is. As I get older and I just start to understand this shit more, that's my issue. It's like the problems aren't being addressed. I'm again, like, even with this last president race, I wasn't voting for Kamala because she was gonna be the first black lady, or because she was not Trump, or because she was saying she's gonna do something I was voting for her for very specific reasons, right? I was voting against.
Most people do.
I was voting against Trump.
You run for policy reasons.
For very specific reasons. When when you say instead of helping this department, I don't know. I remember being in school and the Department of Education was on a lot of my shit. Like I can understand what it's like to be in public school and like your school is trash. Like I went to Leto. Okay. The only difference between Leto and like Alonzo, let's just say, is funding. Yeah. Funding at this, Leto doesn't win football games, so they don't get sports money. Yeah. They don't. Their test scores are pretty average because I mean, look at the community that primarily goes over there. Like when you start to affect the education, you uplift the people. When you dismantle something that isn't even being ran at efficiency, and then convince the people that like, yo, this is the reason, when you know that's not the reason. The reason why education is low is because y'all are allocating the money weird. That's the problem. So now you wipe this out.
So what we have to look is see if the allocation percentage was the same when our education rates were higher. If it was the same back then that can't be the reason.
How and
so look at what year our education rates, our America's education was the highest, and look at what percentage of our federal funding was going towards it.
When did the federal budget?
Because if it's 1% back then
they got used to it.
We can't just say it. Right.
They got complacent.
They got comfortable giving this little, as the world is changing. They got comfortable giving
bare minimum.
1960 money.
They bare minimum. Yeah.
What's the percentage? What's the difference?
So let me ask you this: local is important to you, right? Like local voting.
Yeah, I mean, it just became important. All this stuff, I don't want to front now.
No, we all on the same page.
All this stuff just started opening my eyes and shit.
You're not the only person. That's why we love having this conversation because we all new to it. Because even for me, like I said, I voted Democratic my whole life because that's what I was told.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just learning as I go as well.
And a lot of the times you wouldn't have been wrong because a lot of those times the Democrats probably had your condition,
for what we was looking for,
your societal condition,
for what I was
in mind.
But this ain't the same party though.
So, but let me get back to my question that I was asking. Local is important to you, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Most things that happen in your cities and your state are done by your mayors and governors. When you elect these people, your job as the voter is supposed to ask these people, what are your objectives when you get these positions?
For sure.
So if he's saying to y'all that we telling every state you're going to hold them accountable for your education, that should be our main focus moving forward. Hey, if you're going to be in this spot, your goal and your objective should be to make sure our kids are getting educated the way they needed to be, so that we don't be put in a situation where we're at the bottom or less of than anything else. I don't understand why we had to just put it as a universal federal thing if the money ain't been really, if at this time it really hasn't been a big effect.
Because again, right, you gotta pick your hard. Having the Department of Education and funding it and running it correctly and making sure it does exactly what the mission statement is hard. Leaving it up to the states and making sure and leaving every individual state to make sure they're all on the same level.
You gotta hold that politician to it.
It's hard, but it's hard to do that when I just like to be realistic. I don't like to be too idealistic. Like I take the information that they give us.
Yep.
Most people don't vote for local government. They vote for just local government. They vote for the president. More people vote for the president than they vote for local government.
Agreed.
So you're leaving us like, and if we don't change that, we just leave everything the way it is, and but we're trying to attack the problems. If they can't figure out how to get more people to turn out to hold them accountable, they're gonna keep the unaccountable may continue to slip in. Not saying that every single governor is unaccountable, but like
so a way to gauge who's doing better or not is which states are people leaving and which states are they going to?
I agree.
A lot of people are leaving New York and California to come where?
To
Florida, Texas, and Tennessee.
That's because in New York you pay more tax. You pay
who controls that?
The governor for sure. But again, though, you go back to a point where it's like the people in New York make more money at a certain point. Like again, 50 states in the one thing. To tie it back to what you said, why we need the universal thing with that point right there, it's like because individually states run and operate differently. Like in New York, there's 3 different taxes you got to pay: state tax, county tax, and income tax.
Yeah.
Federal.
So
and
outside
federal.
the prerequisites, why should the education all be the same? Besides
Because
the basic math, science.
It wouldn't be the same because New York is getting more money from its residents because it's charging them more to stay there, right? So their education, their state education can, if it was just up to the state, can be poured into more than like a Georgia who just isn't charging, or Texas who just isn't charging people this much.
Yeah.
So they're allowing people at the homes to kind of do more with their money
No,
for
but
their
the
kids.
home. You said
They're
what?
not, I'm saying they're like leaving the taxes kind of in the people's homes in that sense because they're not taxing them as much to go towards public education. So now it's on the people raising the kids in the household to kind of.
But how do you
instill
keep,
that more?
What I teach my daughter and what you may teach your kid and what you teach, you got a daughter, right? What you teach?
I got 2.
You got 2 daughters. So what
No,
you
I
teach-
got 2 kids.
Oh, you got 2 kids.
Because of
Okay.
that.
A daughter and a boy.
What you teach your kids, what I teach my kid,
Yeah.
what you may teach yours is like, it just may differ. I'm from Brooklyn, bro. I believe certain things. I've
Yep.
been through certain
Yep.
shit
Right.
where I'm like, I don't look at shit like that.
Yep.
You feel me? Like, you need to go and learn about American history because
agree.
you
So I
are
said the
an
prerequisites.
American.
These are the prerequisites.
But when you start making New York's American history, it's gonna look a lot different from the Southern American history, where y'all were slaves longer.
Yeah.
Not in
We were
2025. We have the internet now.
No, but how do they know
But
where
he's
to
just
go?
saying like in general census
if
because
your mind isn't curious enough to do that research,
how
you
old
won't
is your
go.
daughter?
2 months.
So my daughter
Oh,
is 10. She go to a school that's predominantly white. She would never think about slavery ever in her life. She would be like, "That would never happen."
That would never
I
happen.
go to school with a bunch of white people.
my niece is
But the
my niece
internet
is,
exists,
my
so
niece
she's
is
that
8.
internet.
But she
information out there.
not. That's not gonna be in her mindset to be like, "I'm gonna go
That's
look
what I'm
up
trying to tell
slavery."
you.
Right.
It's
Well,
not-
hold on. What I'm saying is, if prerequisites means every state is teaching this no matter what. I don't have to be in California to learn algebra.
But we already took
And-
out
and all
black
that stuff.
slave
But
history.
Florida
like-
already showed
Yeah.
you that that's not going to work
Yeah, and
because
that's-
they
that's
already
the
took
only
out.
issue
They
I
took-
have
they already
with
Took out
they already
slavery.
took.
But, I mean, they've
Yeah.
been telling us Christopher Columbus discovered America since I was.
And they didn't take that out. But they didn't take that out. But
That's
they
the
took out
point.
slavery.
But they were telling that in every state though.
Right. But then when you now let the states
I
get
get
more freedom.
That part I have.
When
a
you
problem
now
with.
let the states
But
get
that's
more
why I
freedom,
said
guess what we decided to take out? The true shit.
But that's why
We leave
I
the phony
said
shit and we take out the
moving
true shit
forward-
because we don't need your brains knowing that story.
That's why I said moving
Yeah.
forward, you have to hold
Then
your
why would people leave
politicians-
New York, California, and then come
You
to the
have to
states
hold
that's
your
doing that?
It's
politicians
cheaper.
to it.
It's cheaper to live in a America. America is all about money, right? Like Trump ain't doing nothing that's saving you bread, right? Just like Biden didn't do much to save you bread. There's not much they can do to save you money. That's another one of my main problems, right? When you run and you tell people USAID is the problem.
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying?
bro.
When you tell people I'm gonna eliminate your income tax, that galvanizes people because obviously they start to see more money in their
Yep.
pocket. Not truly, most people that get excited don't understand that that's impossible. They can't take away income tax.
It started.
They can't take away income tax, bro. You got to think of again.
But the reason he says they can't take away is because it's a big part of the government's money,
the government,
which is I
you could look
disagree.
that up. You could look that up.
It's probably true.
You could look that up. The main way the government, the
They can say
federal,
it's not
Insider
impossible, though.
trading and all that. They got money.
That's what I'm saying. It's not impossible. It's like you can do
they
it.
got money.
Yeah.
They're gonna
But
make
then
it seem like you
but
can't
what
do
about-
it.
Nah, bro, you got to think about every person that's an American. They are not gonna have this. Like that's my point, right? When we voting for the president,
I ain't gonna lie.
I
You
don't-
got to see how much money is allocated just to federal employees,
why?
because I want to know how much money they make, and then some of these departments they probably don't even need them.
And that's cool. I'm not against
You
audits.
save the money.
I'm not against audits.
There's
But
a
before
lot of
you-
departments that the Americans have built over the years that they allocated funds to.
I just don't be
For sure.
being
I'm-
against
and get
cutting down
unused.
taxes. We were throwing tea in the Boston fucking
Yeah.
whatever over 3% tax when we're getting taxed damn near 25% of our
He got
check.
some information for us.
Farm education was funded the most in 1 year,
What year was that?
2009, where we were the highest
Yeah.
in that little mid.
It
How
was
much
funded
was
the
that?
most in 1 year. You said
That was the
Since
most. That was
1970 when it was founded.
Yeah.
The 1 year
That it
we were
received-
funded the highest was 2009.
How much was it? What percentage was it?
It doesn't. That's the thing. There's no data that shows percentage. It just says
That's crazy in itself.
So, but that's more
That's
of a
crazy in itself.
It's not as simple. It's not a simple Google search. My point. You're
just say
you're gonna have to
1.2
take several Google searches and
1.2.
Right.
Hold on. 1.2%.
We're gonna hop on
No,
Discord.
he said billion.
Oh.
1.2
Okay.
billion.
No, 102.
Oh, 102 billion.
So
That's a lot
yeah,
of
you would
money.
have to
That's
take
a lot of money.
But it's a lot of money. But think about how many schools there are.
Yeah,
how many
of
public
course,
schools. So
of
now
course.
that money starts to drain.
Yeah.
That starts to look like. You
For
feel me?
sure.
And you got to keep these schools running half the year.
And you think
Public
everybody
schools,
got
at
that
least
equally,
public
though?
schools.
And say it again.
You think everybody got that money equally though?
I think they did it as
that's another problem.
And okay, so look. So
And
now
that's another problem.
But the only way, the reason why we have to disparage is because we don't have enough
Why
anyway.
do we pick and choose though?
How don't
You
we?
picking and choosing on the disparity, but you saying education should be universal.
It has to
Everybody
be.
should be getting the same amount of money,
But I
the
can't-
same amount of education. It shouldn't be different.
So think about this. Like you said, if I'm only getting a little bit,
Yeah.
and I gotta split it between a lot,
Yeah.
I have to pick who gets what. Because if I give it to everybody, then with this little bit of ass money,
Yeah.
ain't nobody gonna have shit.
So why
It
is
ain't gonna
okay
be-
to
and
disparage
we-
at certain times, but it should be universal.
No. It has to be universal, and I'm not for no disparity.
Okay.
I'm saying that it becomes a disparaging system because they're getting funded so little. So because they don't make enough, again, we're people, right? You got people in charge of that. You got two decisions on your hand now. We're either gonna give all these people and keep all these people at this low level, or we're gonna do some here, and these places will be opportunity places where if you're in a mid,
Don't like that.
I don't like it neither. I don't like it neither. I'm not vouching for that.
I
I'm
see what you're
vouching
saying.
for the Department of Education to get
I
more
don't
money.
even like this conversation. You got me feeling like I'm a Trump supporter. I don't even like this nigga like that. I
Nah,
just want to
it's
see
good
some
combo.
shit different.
Listen.
But the problem
For-
is,
Go
I
ahead.
want to see some shit different.
the
That's
problem
it.
is the things you want to see different, right? Like it's like you got to really ask yourself, why is it like that in the first place?
That's why I wanted to be different.
But you can't get to the difference till you know how we got here.
But you can't
I
only
do know
blame
how
one
we
person
got here.
for
That's
it.
why I want to see it different.
Right.
So why not hold it? Why even elect a nigga who's been telling you, like, you didn't vote for him, obviously. Why even elect a nigga? Why even elect a nigga who's not even telling you? He didn't. Because again, what I respect, he ain't lie.
I voted for Jill Stein.
He didn't lie. my man put Kanye West in the shit.
Hey,
Shit, I almost put my name, to be honest.
oh
Straight up.
God, I got
What would have
this.
happened?
See what happened.
You might have made
Hey,
CNN.
I'm only 30. I got 4 more years.
Listen.
But I just think if you really want to see the changes, you got to pick the people that are attacking the actual problems. And if you really want these people to start talking about the actual problems, then we really got to inform ourselves on the actual problems.
I agree.
Yeah, we can all agree on that.
That way, when a dude gets up there and starts saying shit that may or may not be fascist, that may or may not be oligarchy,
Accurate.
may or may not be even accurate.
Yeah.
You could be like, this stupid nigga think we dumb.
Yeah.
Has to be a sense of transparency to know to be educated.
It has to be a higher education standard.
Nah, but you can only
have to
educate
know.
you on. Listen, like I said earlier, for the longest
We
time,
got 5 minutes.
we thought Christopher Columbus discovered America because they were telling us that. So that's what I'm saying. There has to be a base of
And all I'm
transparency so that we can verify this stuff that they're telling us.
And all I'm saying
point.
is that's true, but
Shit.
That's it.
That was the battery dying? Yeah, that's
No, okay.
Smoke.
We can do a vocal audio to.
Let's vocal it.
Yeah, we'll
all I'm
vocal it
saying
out.
is, like, I agree. I understand that point with the Christopher Columbus thing, but in just today's world, like I said, I don't try to be too idealistic. I'm going off of what's really happening.
Right,
like
right.
in today's world, my nigga, they have
There is
taken.
another battery in there as well, though. It should be. Yeah. Why would I not remember that?
All right,
No,
was
listen,
one
man.
time.
Yeah, it was one
I was
time.
about to say, what the hell? You made
I-
it seem like I did it every time around this
That's when the
day.
battery died. On that one. Usually the battery don't die. We never gone over.
All right.
Yeah.
so
What were you saying?
I think that like what happened in the real world, right? Like you said, the Christopher Columbus shit is fake. It is phony, right?
Propaganda.
Like, it is propaganda. But instead of taking that out of public schools when they had the first chance to.
Yeah.
Ooh, Trump.
Just in general.
Anybody.
And I think that policy might have fell under Trump. I got to look that up.
Indigenous people.
Like, but again, even the rollback, because I ain't even get into that. I didn't even get to smack y'all ass up about this DEI shit.
Oh,
but
Lord.
Yeah, he didn't.
But again, when you start marginalizing,
So you don't believe in merit?
I don't believe that you were getting hired just because you were black anyway. I believe that.
So you believe DEI didn't exist for no reason?
I believe DEI. I believe the reason why we had to call something DEI is a bigger problem.
To bring awareness to
funding.
it.
No, it's
It's for fun. No, it's for funding.
Most people
Right,
do it for
exactly. I was gonna say
funding,
that. Yeah.
Nah, I mean, again,
Get the
yes,
extra
no,
money.
No, yes, the company's
He's
taking
a DEI
the,
hire.
the company's taking advantage. The company's taking advantage of it.
Somehow it's an
Yes,
insult at the
I
same
agree
time,
with
though.
that.
It's crazy.
But
Yeah, I only hire because you're black.
I think
Nobody wants to claim to be a DEI hire, but they want DEI programs.
Yeah.
Why won't you want to be a DEI hire? Because it's disrespectful to say, "Oh, you only got hired because you were this and that," or not only because also because of it.
no, because that's not what they're saying. When
What
they
did
call
they
you a
say then?
DEI hire, they're saying that you only got hired
Right,
because you were black.
Exactly.
What it's
But
supposed
what-
to be,
but
you got
what-
this and that.
And again,
Yeah.
when it's supposed to be,
You're
we're-
qualified.
we're
Maybe that's just how
qualified,
you're taking it.
and you just happen to be black.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna front on you like we used to do.
Yeah,
we used to
yeah,
look
yeah.
at a nigga that was qualified and black and
It's
say, nah.
overqualified.
But let me ask you this: when have you ever
Kinda
seen
nigga,
someone
you
say, "Yes, I'm a
overqualified."
DEI hire"?
I don't know that the company discloses to you.
I don't think they do.
That you are the DEI.
So it's not even
that
a real
in
thing.
itself
Then.
is
They
discrimination.
just because I think what they do is
Exactly.
But they
So-
for the DEI hires, they
It's a
have
mindset.
percentage.
It's a philosophy.
They have a percentage depending
Exactly.
on how high your percentage is. You get
It's
more
a quota.
funding.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Here's how I feel about DEI. I feel like every corporation over 100 people, because that's like the typical sample size in statistics, should be proportionate to the country's population.
Yeah.
At that point, you can't say somebody's being one way or the other. If you have 100 million people in America and 13% are black and 64% are white, 8% are Spanish, and your company has 100 people, 13 people are black, 64 white people, 8% Spanish, how can you say that is being unfair one way or the
Because
other?
it goes-
Depending on the
because
state's population, I guess.
I was about to say the percentage don't reflect that. That's why.
and it always goes into kind of like what we were talking about with the education shit, and it's like everybody isn't proportionally probably
Yes.
Educated the same way?
or like qualified to do this. So again, we're talking this DEI shit really applies to big tech companies, like the big
Corporations,
companies.
yeah.
Target,
That's what I'm saying.
Walmart.
Target,
Yeah.
Walmart,
Right.
places like this, right? Like where the niggas, of course, you know, mad niggas that work at Walmart and Target,
course.
yeah, you know. But how many niggas work in Target
I
corporate?
don't, but I know.
I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, you can go to your local Walmart and
see
see
a bunch
people that
of
look
them,
just like you.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you go to, if we ever got to sit in a Target board meeting, how many niggas you think would look like us? We'd probably
agree.
be the only 3 niggas in
Yeah,
there
we'd be the
looking
minority.
goofy.
Yeah, we'd be the minority.
Because they be looking at us like we had 4 heads, or they
Yeah.
be talking to us like, "Come on, Chad."
Yeah.
You know, like it's no respect, bro.
Been
And
doing
like,
here for 80 years.
But like you said,
what does this guy know? don't get ahead of yourself. buddy.
Sure.
You know, like
but that's basically saying that. So the people who are in those board meetings, how do you think they get up in there? How do you think they're getting into there? You think it's a legacy thing? I would assume you're into there, like family.
no, I mean, and
a little
I mean, like it's a
nepotism.
mix. It's a mix of a
or
little
you just
nepotism.
might actually be a white guy with high.
You
with
could be
high
qualified.
credentials.
You could be qualified. It could be
Yeah.
women
So
and
that
men
would go back
qualified.
to
but
them having that head start that we were talking about earlier
Goes
in
back into
general.
that.
So you think that
if we start again, the main problem, my problem goes back. Like I was telling you during this whole thing, the issues is what I'm. If we could get a candidate that's like, yo, I'm about to take this federal funding and I'm about to transparency like y'all want. I'm about to really split it up in the areas that thrive a nation.
Right. Education, like you
what
said.
areas are that? Future president, education, infrastructure. Let's just use those 2 for now because I don't want to be thinking too long.
Yeah.
But education and infrastructure, right? Again, Biden, he gave us AI
because
infrastructure.
we need agriculture.
He gave us AI infrastructure.
We need that shit bad.
We are in a weird position where the rest of the world is going toward off fossil fuel thing, and we're trying to stay on fossil fuel.
And I don't like that.
I get
I
it.
don't like either.
I
it's about
get
like electric cars versus
No, he's just saying
clean energy and
clean energy. Yeah.
like whatever that looks like. If it looks like electric cars, or if it looks
Solar.
like
I heard
solar.
stuff about the them little fucking what are those things? Those windmills, they're killing dolphins and shit, or whales or some shit. I heard some crazy shit about that.
I've
but
heard about
I
that.
You gotta look into it.
But I think there's always going to be a trade-off. I don't think you ever live in where you get everything you want.
Exactly.
And I think like that's the danger with like trading off to a Trump, right? Because it's like, what does it say you prioritize? What does that say about where your priorities actually lie? And then if you try to disguise it with the problems of the marginalized person, well, how do you know what the marginalized person's gone through if you're not a marginalized person? You don't know what that's like, and you can't.
You think Kamala knows what a marginalized person's plight is like?
Kamala Harris, I
Or
know
even
this.
Joe Biden?
I know there's this big thing, but Kamala Harris was born in Oakland, California. Kamala Harris is an American woman. Her mother could be Indian for sure. Her mother could 100% be Indian, but she is an American woman. She was born in Oakland. Like, this idea that she's not black is
No. That's not what I'm saying.
crazy.
I'm talking about middle class versus lower
doesn't-
class. I'm not even talking about race.
And she said that. Like, again, middle class is.
I come from a middle class.
You could come from upper middle class. There's upper middle class, bro. There's people,
Sorry.
there's upper middle class.
Right.
There's people
Definitely
like Carol would.
Yeah.
Middle
Carol
class.
would be like an upper middle class.
Oh damn, shit.
You feel me? Like situation, like depending on where in Carol would you. Depending on where you at in Carol.
Carol
You
Meadows,
feel me?
nigga.
But
I
like
grew up from West Tampa, so that tell you everything.
that tell you everything you need to know.
That nigga broke. I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
You feel me? His experiences
different.
on the day to day, like just from 10 to 16.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
happy for the first
Are
of the month.
way
Right.
different than the
Food
nigga in
stamps.
Carolwood from 10 to 16.
Yeah.
Those
My
shits
bad.
look different. So when he at 18, 19, 20 now is voting,
Yeah.
I'm voting on where I come from and the niggas
Yep.
that I still know that still got to deal with that.
Right.
Like when I hear every rich person that is going to benefit from Trump and his policies still tell me, don't vote for this guy. I'm the only one that's going to win.
Yeah.
I might vote for the nigga.
You gotta point me to these niggas saying that.
Chappelle said it. Chappelle said everybody who wasn't everybody who wasn't paid, because there's Hollywood people who were paid.
I'm not the biggest of an entertainer person, so whenever they say something,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't.
But again, though, you got to think those.
People.
But that's where you use that's where your bias comes in.
Mm-hmm.
You look at them like people who aren't of a reliable source because
go through
of
the
what
same-
they do,
yeah.
because they have
Like,
to
it takes more
entertain.
skill to do what they did than to do what. Not skill. I don't want to say. I want to say
Skill.
Intellect.
To-
No, because it
or-
takes skill to be a comedian and an actor.
It takes more skill to do what? Exactly.
To run businesses in America, start a business, to scale a business in America.
I think
It's a lot of hard work,
to be Kevin Hart.
subjective.
I think to be Kevin Hart, he's the number one CEO. He
go hard.
Kevin Hart can run
Go
with
hard.
because the brand that
Is a business. The brand is a business.
So
The
look,
brand
how many
is
Kevin Harts are there? There are not a lot of Kevin Harts, right?
no, there's not.
There are a lot of companies out here who are guys that came from regular neighborhood started it up.
That's
Scaled it
that's
to
still
100
small
million.
too. That's still small
That's
too.
but
I'm saying I
exactly
said scale to 100 million. I didn't say
that
just
no.
scale.
I mean even
That's still
okay,
small,
true say yeah.
Kevin Hart don't got what?
He said he might not have 100 million.
No,
got
he got
100 million.
No, he got 100 million.
He got 100 million.
He close to a B.
Yeah.
All right, so all right,
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
so
he
exactly.
up there.
So
Yeah.
y'all talking about,
Stadium tours, he did all that
We
shit.
have to compare Kevin Hart to Bill Gates, Zuckerberg, those type of
And
guys.
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like when you in a to a certain mindset, it'd be foolish to compare a Kevin Hart to a Bill Gates.
Of course.
Because Bill Gates has Microsoft.
Yeah.
You don't see Kevin
Global.
Hart the brand.
Kevin Hart didn't innovate the world.
He innovated comedy.
Eh,
Subjective.
Subjective,
But
yeah.
I could also add
As-
Microsoft.
Yeah.
did you?
I can.
It's tangible shit. We're using Microsoft right here.
Apple.
I could turn on Kevin Hart's comedy special right now.
And nobody did
And-
numbers like he did.
And we're gonna laugh.
Yeah, nobody
and we're
did
gonna laugh. You feel what
Nobody do numbers like him
you
neither.
feel what I'm saying? Like I feel like
Everything plugged in, nigga.
once that would be the comparison you had to compare it to. You feel what I'm saying? It's like whatever you can't move the goalpost.
Yeah.
If it's who runs their company the most successful, who runs Kevin Hart Inc. better than Kevin Hart?
Nobody.
Nobody. Who runs Microsoft better than Bill Gates? Nobody.
Nobody.
And we've yet to see a nigga since Bill Gates retired. Microsoft ain't been where they needed to be.
Yeah.
Now Microsoft really only started to get back popping because of ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Making that early investment. You feel what I'm saying? Because things roll over and move on. You got to be able to adapt. That's my pride. So you got to elect people, going back to just the government shit, that represent the adaptation that is happening currently in the world. It can't be like a, oh no, I'm this way and this is what made me successful.
Yeah.
Blind eye to what's currently making y'all successful and how the world is currently working.
Yeah.
It needs to stay like this because y'all shit kind of threatens my shit.
Yeah.
That's how that is looked on to me. Like I look at it like you afraid of the change versus embracing it. Like old white men who just don't, for some reason, don't want to see anyone that isn't. They don't even like white women advancing.
No, they don't.
Old white men just want old white men to win, or white men.
Yeah.
They just want white men to win, and that's where the DEI thing is a super challenge to me too, because white women were included in that too. Like women are DEI. Mm-hmm. Black people, Indian people, Mexican people, like it's a lot that is involved in DEI. But when you roll it back and you put it on the news, it just looks like us.
Of course.
And when you say like, oh, he's a DEI hire, but like some of y'all are DEI hires. Some of y'all are on nepotism is DEI, just with a different name. The Rooney Rule. You're only here because you're my son.
But that's not a DEI hire though. That's just a privilege.
DEI is a privilege. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. It's a privilege.
But how's it a privilege if you getting hired and you're not even
because
qualified for
no company in the history of companies is gonna hire anyone doing anything important, because DEI does not, it trickles down. Obviously it affects the whole company.
So my thing is, okay, cool.
in corporate
if
America,
these people don't want you to work for them, why do we want to work with them?
Because they run the fucking world. I don't care if you don't want me to work with you, Mr. fucking guy. You have the biggest company in the world, and guess what? We got
to start changing that mindset.
Okay, so
man.
You know how we
I
do
think
that?
That's a mindset thing.
But you know how we do
that?
that?
Changing that.
We got to educate ourselves. We can't be the most educated
and you want
niggas.
those people who don't want us to be a part of their system to expect them that they're gonna educate us.
And the last thing
that's crazy to me in itself.
It is. And the last thing
that's the word for insanity.
But the last thing I want them to do, I don't expect them to. I don't expect no college or no. I don't expect all of that to give me the keys. Yeah. I expect it to be the playing field to be level.
Yeah.
I expect that if I'm growing up and white man over here is growing up and Chinese man right here is growing up, shorty is growing up over here, white shorty, black shorty, Mexican shorty, I expect the cream to rise to the top.
Okay. Through
whatever we base is that.
So that's merit based.
Right. But in no company ever, because again, like my point with the DEI shit is that it's really it's really for corporate America. Again, we could walk into any Walmart, any Target, any low entry. We the ones that do the low entry jobs.
Right.
For this policy to be a thing, it's because they're looking around corporate America, noticing that all y'all old white dudes is getting old and dying.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to do something to let some of these people we've purposely kept out for a long time. Maybe we should do something to bring some of them in. And then you look at the data, and it went from 99% of white males in corporate America to 98% of white men. So we're getting rid of a program in its infancy that only really got to affect 1% of corporate America, and that's the problem, and not the white men running the shit?
Yeah. I just think we got to start putting more onus on us being
our
own minority, and then we got to make us the majority.
How do you do that when the minority, because we are the majority in a lot of ways now, like black people in a lot of categories, we are the majority. But
one of the most educated people are black women.
So then they change the rules and say, you know what, we don't really need colleges. You don't really need a college education like that to get up in here. After you told us for 20 years to go to college, then our women rise to the top. Now you say it's not that important. That kind of feels intentional, but okay, fine. Us black men who wasn't going to school at a high rate, we don't even need college. Told you, bitch. Go up in there and whoa, brother. This ain't even that kind of party. We got an entry level job for you down there. Well, hold on, y'all say y'all didn't need college applications, and I'm qualified. Trust me, I could do this shit. I could do this shit better than him. I could do this shit. Sir, we're gonna need you to leave.
I see what you're saying.
You feel what I mean? DEI isn't the problem. The problem is needing DEI. because no one was hiring anyone not off merits.
Yeah. No, that makes
You were
sense.
only getting hired off merits. You just get, except nepotism, but that's its own thing.
Yeah.
You only get, the DEI only makes them have to open the door for you.
Yeah.
And once we get indoors, we know how we do.
We gonna crank.
We gonna
you said,
turn this shit up.
Yeah, the cream rise to the top.
The cream rise to the top, bro.
Yeah.
And like, that's my problem when we elect leaders that don't lie to us, but they don't even bother to lie. They just tell you straight up, we're keeping you marginalized. We're keeping you at the bottom, champ.
I just would say we got to start supporting our own, man.
But buying black is a lot easier to say.
I
but
know.
like,
I know.
how many businesses are black businesses for
I know.
real? Man, well, we found out BLM wasn't even black owned. Like, they play in our face so much, bro. So much do they play in our face, and they change the rules when we get close. Like, again, when if the states if your kids got to get raised by the state's education, trust and believe the private education will still be top tier education in America. And who can afford that? Rich people, not poor. Like, most people, no matter what your color is, no matter what your background is, you go to public school, and a lot of
We're gonna see, man.
Yeah, hey,
We're gonna see.